Okay, we're live. Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Pick a Side podcast. My name is Moran and I'm here with River Brown, Andrew Velez, and Joe Dehls. And this is now episode 248. In this episode, we are going to be grading rebuilds, talk about John Wall exposing the Rockets, discuss where LeBron ranks all time as a scorer, if Jokic is on pace to win 3 straight MVPs, Draymond's Hall of Fame case, and more. Shout out to everybody watching in the chat right now.
Sure.
I don't know how many people are in the chat. I haven't pulled it up yet, but shout out to all you guys that are watching right now. As you can see, I'm repped up. Dallas Cowboys, they winning Sunday. Cincinnati Bengals, they winning Sunday. We catching straight W's and dubs on Sunday.
Love repping
You owe some. You do for some, I should say.
I'm going crazy. And
Do for some wins.
if you guys are wondering why we were late to the live stream, we were debating about.
First of all, we're always late to the live.
Yeah, you're right. But this time we had a
Yeah,
reason.
we're low-key kind of early. We usually start at 7.
Yeah, but this one we had a reason, right? Because we were arguing Garrett Wilson versus Keenan Allen. Who's a better wide receiver right now?
That's really not what we were arguing about.
No, that's how it all started.
Well, you
It
could say
started with Garrett Wilson, you calling him elite, I think.
No, I said Garrett Wilson is a great receiver.
No, you called him elite.
You called him elite.
All right,
around
I
it.
said he's already a top 15 receiver.
If you want to call him elite,
Yeah,
okay.
and then I said he's better than
But
Keenan
if-
Allen.
If people push back on you saying that he's elite, are you going to get upset at them?
NBA show, by the way.
No, I'm not going to get upset.
No, for sure.
But I'm not.
Probably.
But you didn't push back because he was elite. You pushed back because I said he's better than Keenan Allen.
I didn't push
then-
back on that.
We're just
I
still
just
in
said
his
that
first year.
it's definitely
You did
you
push
can,
back
you can have
on
a conversation. If I said I could have a conversation about that, is that wrong? No, you pushed back on that statement. You're like, no,
you don't think it's conversation?
clear cut.
You know what I've noticed about Drew? Whenever Drew says that, well, whenever Drew knows he's wrong but doesn't admit it, he says we can have a conversation. That's a conversation. Remember when we argued if
Really?
Justin Herbert versus Tua, who's better, and you said that's a conversation? No, we all knew that was Herbert. But you wanted to have the conversation.
If that's how you interpret it, hey, listen, we all have different perspective on things. What I said was very clear statistically, and if you could raise my headphones up a little bit, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
What's clear is that statistically, there's the conversation. But if you go off talent, it's not a conversation. This year, statistically, it was a conversation, which is exactly what I said. But again, you hear what you hear. I can't impact that. But I'm just letting you know that that's the facts. Again, here, we were having a conversation on whether we'll go Garrett Wilson or Keenan Allen. If you want to take Garrett Wilson, hey, who am I to argue? Because, again, it's a conversation. But we can't pretend like Keenan Allen hasn't been one of the best receivers in the game for the last 6 seasons. It's simple. That's it. But if you want to take Wilson, hey, what am I going to do? Fucking throw a bitch fit? No. I mean, I see where you're coming from. Kid's a rookie, just put up 1,100 yards. But, we're not going to pretend like Keenan Allen hasn't been the model of consistency.
But he's not better than Garrett Wilson right now. I don't care what the
If you
stats
believe
say.
that, hey.
Hey, man, Garrett was rolling out there with
crazy.
third stringers all
No
year.
doubt. No, Garrett Wilson's a dog, and I've said it time and time again. The guy's a future superstar. I've never spoke ill on Garrett Wilson. Suddenly, I want to sit down and really think Keenan Allen and Garrett Wilson. I'm disrespecting him, even though I've called him a future superstar.
My water has a limit.
But when Drew says it's a conversation, he knows he's wrong. Let's start using more constructive comments.
I'm taking Garrett for what it's worth.
It's like, hey, do I
Garrett.
blame you? You guys are Jets fans. He just put up an amazing
do-
season.
But
What do
why,
you think
why
that
are
Keenan
you
does
why are
better?
you thinking that we are taking Garrett because we're Jets fans?
No, it's
we're
basketball
football
show, by the
fans.
way.
No, fine.
Basketball, by the way.
We just
Two
think
away from
Garrett's
250.
better.
Okay, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah, this Garrett, is it affected by our Jets bias? I don't think it is. In this situation, I don't think
I
it
don't
is.
think it is.
If we said Garrett over Waddle and it's a
that's-
clearing,
that's-
that's the bias. Him over Keenan Allen is common knowledge.
Really?
He's better.
No, for
he's
sure.
a better
Keenan,
player.
Keenan just
Keenan-
has the history. He's done it 5 years
He
in a row,
has.
basically 1,000 yards.
Keenan,
I get
Keenan
it.
misses 7 games this season and puts up almost 800 yards. I mean, you do the fucking math.
I mean, with all
Do
the
the- no,
with
do
all,
the
with all
math.
due respect, we got Garrett Wilson out there with Zach Wilson,
Hey,
Mike
and
White, and
that's-
Joe
and
Flacco.
that's
Put up
where-
1,100.
Which is why I'm willing to hear you guys out, because that is such an
He
amazing
probably would have put up a
argument.
1,500 yard season with Herbert. Let's be
hold
honest.
up. But Garrett Wilson, statistically was better than him in every single facet.
Well, no,
of the
Keenan
game.
missed 7 games.
No, I know. Even if you want to project that and
do you mean?
add on yards,
What is there to
he
say?
still wouldn't have a better season.
He averaged almost
with great
90,
elite quarterback.
He
play.
averaged almost 80 yards a game. He missed 7 games. Really quick math. That's 560 yards.
If we get Derek Carr next year, who do you think has a better season?
I mean, given the fact that Keenan did just get injured, you could say that it's Garrett Wilson. Of course, he's younger. It's safer to go Garrett Wilson. But if they both stay healthy, I'm not crazy for saying Keenan Allen.
One season over 1,200 or more yards. Garrett put up 1,100 year one with bad quarterback play.
Garrett Wilson is a fucking stud.
Yeah, I know. You're not disrespecting him.
He's
by any means.
amazing.
The fact that he's in a conversation with Keenan is a big W.
Exactly.
I just don't know.
In year one.
Like, I just don't know what Keenan does.
Can I ask you a question?
Maybe even still, I don't know what Keenan does better than Garrett Wilson.
Keenan Allen handicaps an offense.
When he's your primary receiver, absolutely, yes.
Damn, that's such a.
And you don't have the proper personnel around him.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
It's just funny to hear somebody say he handicaps it off.
I hear what he's saying. Handicap, maybe not the right word.
For example, this is a great analogy. There are certain players in the NBA. They're great. They're great players, but come playoff time, they may handicap an offense because they have court. They struggle.
Rudy Gobert.
So is Keenan Allen the DeMar DeRozan?
That's a great comparison. Keenan Allen, DeMar DeRozan,
mid-range shooter, kind of the old school.
Yeah,
type.
You know what you get when he gets out there. He do his thing in his little role.
I think that's a great comparison for Keenan Allen. Never the top of the top, but
he respected. He wanted
a respected star. He's a respected star for sure.
Came on top of my head.
I wasn't mad at it. DeMar DeRozan, probably a future Hall of Famer.
No, but God forbid, even if we wanted to prop Garrett Wilson, God forbid we do. When all offseason it was a Jerry Jeudy show, we ain't say nothing.
No, see, if you want to have that statement to be funny.
I was with Drew, to be fair.
If you want to make that statement to be funny, I'm fine with it, of course. Haha. We do everything for the ha-has.
Whenever
Am I mad at you guys for saying Garrett Wilson's a stud when I agree with that?
Whenever you talked about Jeudy, I understand the quarterback play, all that. Garrett had worse. Drew Lock might have been the best quarterback on the Jets last season.
That's probably,
probably not crazy to say.
No, they're all probably the same. Let's be real. But this year, when Jeudy was the alpha, it was clear.
Yeah, he was a dog the last month of the season or so. Once Russ started cooking, so did Jeudy.
The fact that he almost finished with 1,000 yards, that's a testament to how good he is.
Too, I think,
Mike Will did, for sure. He had a really good season.
Jeudy?
Yeah. Would you take Jeudy over Keaton or no?
No.
Okay. All right.
For your offense, really?
Again, Keenan Allen. It's Keenan Allen.
All right.
It's just a certain respect. I'm very consistent.
No, I'm not mad.
We're two away from episode 250, by the way.
That's pretty nuts.
Wow.
That's pretty crazy.
That's pretty nuts. Garrett Wilson's better than Jerry Jeudy, so it's not why would I say that Jerry Judy's better than Keenan Allen?
Hate that for you.
I don't hate that for me. Garrett Wilson's a stud. He was a top 10 pick. Jeudy was also very high selected. I think he was 15, but
Jeudy was coming out of very highly touted.
Garrett Wilson's no slouch, of course. I'm not mad.
So before we get into the show, gonna read these super chats. So this from DJ the Goat donated $4.99. Giants upset. Let's go.
Here we go.
This guy knows football, man. It's lit.
Bro's an idiot.
This is from Finesse World, donated $1.99. The fact I don't even know who Garrett Wilson is, laughing emoji.
YouTube Garrett Wilson highlights, man.
LaDainian Tomlinson Chargers profile picture.
He's definitely a Keenan over Garrett.
This is from Orlando Martinez. Big O donated
$4.99.
I know it's a basketball episode, but this is your daily dose. Shout out Kenny Pickett, man.
Shout out Kenny P. They're keeping Matt Canada. I know Steelers fans are not happy about that. He's pretty terrible.
I've seen it.
With due respect, he's pretty terrible.
Shout out Joey, man. This is the offense I run in Madden. Had me crying, laughing.
This is from Dom Paluzzi, donated $1.99. Rivs Eagles suck. Let's go Giants. What's up, boys?
I'm not gonna go that. I'm not slandering the Eagles. This isn't a. I'm not picking the Giants because I think the Eagles are bad. Just sometimes fate's on your side.
Hate that for him, I guess.
This is from Vonte, donated $4.99. Can y'all please start saying Devontae Smith's name correctly? You don't say Monta Ellis. You say Monte Ellis.
I'm pretty sure Smitty, isn't it?
I thought it was Devonta.
Well,
no, it's Devontae Smith. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I thought it was Devonta.
Yeah. I know it's Monte Ellis.
I know that for sure, yeah.
Yeah, no,
how do you
it's
spell
Monte?
Monte.
Okay, so
Spelled
and
Devontae.
Devonta.
No,
Devonta.
M-O-N-T-A. Monte.
No, Monte spelled with an E.
No, Monte Ellis
Monte
is
Morris
M-O-N-T-A.
is with the E, but
Yeah.
Monte Ellis.
Correct.
Wow. Monte Morris.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no doubt about it. It's with an A.
whatever.
Monta Ellis, Devonta Smith.
Monta Ellis.
So if it was Monta Ellis, wouldn't it be Devonta Smith?
I don't even know how to read that and pronounce it right. I'll be honest with you.
It's Devontae Smith.
That's
Trust.
cool. I like it, Devonta.
So shout out to Vontae sending us $5 to correct our grammar.
That's his name
always
too.
You don't even know
that.
if we're saying his name right either.
No, it is. Trust me.
Okay.
I've searched it up before.
Oh, word.
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay.
Don't worry, man. I do my research. I know Devontae.
Like up the stream, man. We only got 49 likes in here, 200 people watching. Like the stream. Get to 100 real quick.
Let's do it.
So this episode, you guys know, it's all basketball, no doubt about it. And
From here on out.
Boom Fantasy today, I have my pick of the day.
What you got?
And the game starts at 10 p.m., which means that you guys still got time to go and place this in. You can either click the link in our bio or use code PAS. Boom finally got the code, so you can use the code PAS for a risk-free entry up to $100. My pick is SGA over 41.5 points, rebounds, and assists. The Kings.
That should be a fun game. Yeah,
I'm definitely going to watch it after this show. So, yeah, that's my lock.
River, you still looking?
Let's see if it happens.
All right, so for my...
I lied.
Okay.
Bastard.
No, I just found because I didn't know Memphis was playing the Lakers today, so I'm gonna take the John Morant over because their guards suck. And they cannot guard John Morant, and he's been pretty amazing. I think he has 32 plus points in 7 of his last 12 games. So he's been on the heater.
He has been on a heater, no doubt about it.
I think Memphis is on like 11, 12 game win streak.
Yeah, they're going crazy.
Best team in the West.
So with that, I know you said that you picked the 10 o'clock game, and you also picked the 10 o'clock game. But listen, 7:05, you got till 7:30 to get this Knicks in Atlanta pick in.
Starja?
Starja was intriguing, no doubt. But it is interesting to hear the Boom guy request a Starja. Hey,
I'm just not. You're a Starja guy.
Let me not get him in trouble. I'm just joking. But the one that was intriguing to me was Jalen Brunson, 36.5 points, rebounds, and assists. He's been on an absolute tear recently. And against Atlanta, whose defense is not that great by any means, to be completely honest with you, I'm expecting Brunson to continue to heat
Atlanta has
up.
also been on a little win streak.
Jalen Brunson,
Turn it
all-star him.
Ever since we
All-star him is right. You saw the third.
No, get him on the ballot on
yeah.
the
third
top
the
10.
third
I know.
turnaround game.
I know.
Knicks fan.
I've been voting, bro.
I keep voting D Rose.
If you're not voting, if you're not voting for Brunson, and if you're not voting for Aaron Gordon, I don't know what you are doing.
Julius Randle, too.
Julius is already on the top 10.
He's actually on the ballot.
Yeah, he is. But Aaron Gordon.
Actually, I haven't voted. I did it one time.
We need bro on
I
the.
really voted this year.
We need bro to get into the All-Star game,
Do
just
the
so
dunk
we can
contest?
see him in the dunk contest.
Do we have names for the dunk contest
I
yet?
don't even care about.
I saw I think Mac McClung is going to be the first G League player to do the slam dunk
that
contest.
I think
bad.
Kenyon Martin Jr. is participating in it.
Okay. Kenyon Martin Jr. has ups.
I know Tatum was invited to the three-point contest. I don't know if he's going to do it.
Probably didn't want
He
to
should do
lose.
Unless Curry is going to continue to.
Curry's probably not going to do that shit again.
His shoulder is the reason why I don't think he'll do it. Listen, Curry should do it every single year.
I think after the last one, he said he was done.
But why?
He did just say he's joining the Olympics, though. The next
Really?
2024,
I hope
yes.
LeBron comes back.
He said he told Curry he's in this year, so one of them young boys lost a spot.
Facts.
Figure that shit out.
We need one last ride. KD, LeBron, Curry, got Kawhi in there. I want a dream team. I want the crazy
We
squad.
could put
I
a dream
don't
team
care.
with the young boys.
Now you could. Yeah. What am I going to say? Giannis, of course. That's international. I'm just thinking of NBA
You could
players.
put with Tatum, what you got?
Tatum, facts.
Jokic.
John Morant.
Facts.
Jokic can't.
Come on,
I know.
bro.
I know.
SGA.
Trey Young. SGA.
No, SGA is Canadian, isn't he?
He plays with a Canadian. He played with Wiggins and Dort.
Facts.
And Dylan Brooks.
Scotty Barnes.
It's actually a nasty.
Is Scotty Barnes? I think he's also
Oh,
Canadian.
yeah, you're right.
Can you stop?
No, I don't know. I don't know if Scotty's Canadian.
I don't know if he's Canadian.
I don't know. He's not Canadian, bro.
Do we have an
He's from
American
USA.
elite big?
That's what I'm thinking. Rob Will?
Bam?
Bam.
Be
Bam.
serious. Look at those.
Jalen-
Sabonis, he's American, right?
Yeah.
No.
He's not. They're European.
Sabonis? Come on.
No, actually, you know what?
I
I
don't
think
know.
he is American.
I think
he's American, but he's European.
Nah,
Like,
he
he'll
grew
play
up.
for
He can
European
play.
squad.
Yeah,
I think
he
can
grew
play
up in
for the-
America.
If he, I'm pretty sure. I think it would be. I don't know it off the top of my head. What was his Arvidas? I'm blanking what team he played for, man.
He played for Portland.
No, not
Oh,
NBA.
I'm so sorry.
I'm blanking off the top of my head, and I don't want to say.
Slovakia?
No, I don't know. I don't want to assume either.
Greece?
Lithuania.
I'd see. Sometimes you got to trust yourself.
Who Luka play for?
I think
That
also.
would be a nasty team. On the same team.
Yeah, they are for sure. Jalen Brown probably would make the USA squad.
You got Kyrie. Kyrie will.
Kyrie
facts,
probably, if
Or
he
they
wants
should
to
go
play.
play for the
Harden-
Australians.
Harden-
Nah,
Harden.
Ben.
Luka's from Slovenia.
Slovenia.
Hate that. He's gonna backpack anyway.
Is that what I said?
I don't know.
I have no
what I
idea.
said.
So we got some super chats here. This one's from Dante, donated $1.99. He goes, Riv is mad fine.
He didn't lie.
This next one is from Teeks, donated $5. And his question is very, very interesting. Who's more impactful on defense to their team, Jaren Jackson Jr. or Evan Mobley?
Jaren Jackson Jr.
Leads league in blocks.
Yep. I think it's Jaren Jackson Jr. easily.
Probably the best defensive player in the league this season.
Yeah, I think
Great.
Allen mitigates a lot of things that Mobley can't do. As
Fair.
for Jaren Jackson, has a lot more responsibility.
Jaren is the best rim protector in the NBA. And who's the better player overall? I think we'd all take Jaren.
Jaren, right now.
Oh yeah, Jaren. But Jaren. I'm bugging Jaren. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like the statement I was about to make is strong. Mobley, are we going to get to the point where his ceiling is Jaren Jackson? Is that irresponsible of me to say?
I think yes.
Okay. So who can he be? Like, he can be significantly better than Jaren?
I think their ceilings are relatively close.
That's what I'm saying.
But I think Mobley's is probably higher because he came in elite from day one as a defender.
Okay.
And
Fair
he doesn't
point.
have the same problems as Jaren Jackson Jr. in terms of like discipline on defense. Like
Jaren's got the ratty.
He's gotten better at it, but I think defensively Mobley's a little bit more disciplined. He can guard the perimeter a little bit
He
better.
is more disciplined.
It's just offensively who can, out of both of them, who's going to be able to reach their peak faster. And with bigs like that, they take a little longer. But I think Evan Mobley's ceiling is a bit
Like, I feel like his offensive game, the ceiling, if he reaches Jaren Jackson's offensive game, shit, you'll take that from Mobley 10 out of 10 times, especially with the fact that we know what Mobley can be defensively, which is why that was the question that came to mind, or the comparison that came to mind.
Yeah, I think Mobley just has to put more size on. He has a lot of moves. It's just some of them he can't complete because he's his
Little
frame,
lanky, little lanky.
His frame, and sometimes he gets bumped back. But I think if he packs on more weight, he'll be all right.
He's definitely quick for being as tall as he is.
He's a good passer too.
Okay.
This from Lots of Love, donated $1.99. Shout out Riv, he a real one. This
You're
is
the
from
fan fave.
Santos Lopez, donated $2.
Take a side leg.
Asking Drew, where's my hoodie at?
Dude, it's en route.
He definitely owns a business. Or something. He
been
donates
around for a
every
month.
week.
Dude, I don't want Santos to think that I've been ducking him.
No, he sees us every week.
The hoodie's,
does.
exactly. The hoodie's on en route. Whenever it gets there, it gets there.
This is from Clutch City,
I'll send him
71,
Ratty.
donated $5. First time catching y'all live. Salute, fellas. Best sports show in the world.
Shout out Clutch.
This next one's from Zach Preeb, donated $4.99. Please answer this. Does Herbert have a top 10 wide receiver unit? Also looking cute as fuck. Doug.
It's real sweet of him.
I don't think they have a top 10.
Receiver unit.
You're going to make me do this off the top of my head.
Eagles,
The Eagles, Miami.
Dolphins. Yeah.
Like Dolphins. I
Um,
think the Bills are better.
Tampa Bay or Chargers.
I would say Tampa.
Okay. I don't want to push back too much on
Lions or Chargers?
that. I would take the Chargers.
Yeah,
It's
just
a mon.
Amon-Ra.
It's a mon.
Ah, Jameson. It's interesting.
TBD.
Yeah,
Oh, Minnesota or Chargers?
would take-
go Minnesota.
I mean,
I would go Minnesota just
really?
because Jettas.
Jettas and TJ?
I got to throw a Hawk in there. Yeah,
Yeah.
Gotta throw Hawk.
Wait, yeah.
Just,
Minnesota's better.
yeah.
Oh,
It's just really just Jettas. I'll be honest with you.
it's
Hawk is good too.
Hawk is
Well,
solid.
respect the Chargers. They have DeAndre Carter.
They have Gerald
no.
Everett.
You didn't even mention Josh Palmer.
Were you throwing Austin
Who's
Eckler
better,
in the
him or
receiver
KJ
That's right.
Osborne?
Fuck no.
Josh
You
Palmer.
can't do that.
Honest conversation. Honest
It is.
conversation.
I think it is.
They're both mid.
KJ.
I wouldn't say they're both mid.
They're just guys. They're guys.
I think you're being rude.
I don't think so.
They're really, really good wide receiver threes.
Okay, I guess maybe.
Wide receiver threes matter, man.
I think a really, really good wide receiver 3
Tyler
is
Boyd.
Tyler. Exactly. Tyler
He's
Boyd's perfect.
He's,
Great.
no,
He
he's
was
the
the
cream
number
of the
two.
fucking crop.
Because he was a number 2.
Yeah, no, for
He's a
sure.
really good receiver.
Tyler
They're
Boyd
probably
was the
top
number
10.
1 until they were just like,
They're probably like
this
10
can't
or
be.
11.
Yeah.
This
Yeah, we're
can't
gonna get
be.
T. Higgins and Jamar in here.
Now, this from Kill Moves, donated $4.99. I'm leaving Zach Wilson in 2022. Is the biggest L New Year's resolution ever. JK, big fan of y'all's pod.
I'll tell you what, I do believe it's an L because you gave up
Like
January
today-
2nd.
Yeah, literally, you lasted maybe 24 hours.
And ever since then, new information about the collapse of the Jets has been surfacing. And you look at that information, yeah, Zach was sabotaged. It was simple as that.
He was never given a real chance. Let's be honest.
At all. He's a hard worker. Ian Rappaport, you saw what he said?
I never really.
I
bought
needed to
into
show
that.
Rip.
I
Don't
never
believe in
bought
the
into
lies.
that.
Don't believe in the lies.
Oh yeah. I'm glad you showed me
Outside
that.
the
Hard
one
worker.
comment he made out of the
'Cause I was
Patriots
not-
game, everything was always good with Zach.
Outside of
mentally.
one of the worst comments we've heard from a quarterback
Yeah, it
in a
wasn't
long
great.
time.
I'm glad you showed me that because I wasn't gonna read it. Like I was just gonna. I read it and I was just like, well,
Yeah, the whole being late to meetings and all that never really felt like that was Zach.
It wasn't, no. And this is from Logan Miziak. Donated $5. Hope I'm saying your name right. As a Luka fan, if you could pick one of these Western Conference Finals matchups, which would you choose and why? Dallas Clippers, Dallas versus Denver, or Dallas versus the Lakers? I'd pick Dallas versus Denver.
Dallas versus Denver for sure.
I don't know.
Denver's
if
the
I
best
want
team
that.
out of those three other ones.
Yeah, I'd love to see Luka and Jokic face
Yeah,
off.
that'd be fun.
I
feel like the Nuggets would
Denver
cook them.
beat the
I
shit
was
out
gonna
of
say they would
Dallas.
cook them.
I'd probably go one for even team entertainment purposes. I think that would go like 6-7.
The Clippers, you're
and
saying?
Dallas. Yeah,
You think it would?
Yeah.
The Clippers are kind of mid.
Yeah, but Dallas
Why do
is
y'all
mid, too.
underrate Dallas so much?
I'm not.
the Luka
I think
show.
I don't
No,
think
I
the
just
Clippers
think-
would
I
have a. I don't think
Nuggets
that would
would
be
not
easy series
smoke
for
them in
them.
this
No, I
series.
said I'd only pick it because it'd be 6 or 7.
I was
It's 'cause
gonna
they
say,
have
no,
your
I
guy
think
in
it's a
No, it's just be
it's a
competitive.
calm.
Luka-
series.
You think Denver and Dallas is competitive?
No, I think that's less competitive than the Clippers.
Yeah, I just want the competitive one. I think Denver and
Luka
Dallas is
can
like
take
5 games.
anybody to 7.
He literally
He
lost
took-
to the
yeah, to
Warriors in
5.
5 games.
Sometimes shooters don't hit their shots.
No, but like I think that's exactly what would happen in the Denver series. They lose in 5.
Golden
Cool
State's a
games.
different story.
You think this Denver team is on the same level as the Golden State team last year?
Defensively, not close.
But I'm just as a team.
The best offense in the
Defensively
league.
matters.
It does.
Defensively,
Warriors were able to do something defensively at Denver camp.
okay, that's fair. It didn't answer my question, but it's definitely fair.
And the offense is the same with Steph.
No
on
one's
the court.
picking Dallas Lakers.
I don't want to see
Is it the same?
What is the same?
I'm saying you're saying the offense of Golden State and the offense of the Nuggets.
Oh, no, the Warriors.
This Nuggets offense is
Number one in the league.
unbelievable this year.
That's great.
Yeah, with Jokic on the court.
Of
But
course.
yeah.
He's gonna play
Sure.
at least
40
40
minutes.
minutes.
I think the Warriors' offense is better still.
I mean,
Well, the
what can I
starting
really
five is-
say to like? Of course, we're talking about a dynasty, but this year, this Nuggets offense really is borderline flawless.
Yeah.
This is from Josh MS. He
Warriors
donated
offense is mid when you
$10
put the bums in.
of Canadian dollars. Scotty Barnes. Talk
Canadian
about it.
dollars.
Talk about him, it's right. I was told he's a disappointment. That's what I was told. I was told he was a disappointment.
He
They
was
have been.
disappointing. He was
Yeah.
disappointing.
Yeah,
Scotty?
he was.
He was, yeah. Why do we
Yeah.
do that? Why
No,
do we?
no,
He's
no.
looking
Why do
playing
we-
better though.
listen,
This
why do
last-
we
he's been
change
slow,
what
but
we're
he's
saying?
playing better the last like
Was he
couple
not
weeks,
disappointed?
months.
He's on a heater right
Yeah,
now.
he's
when
on a
we,
heater.
when
He
we
is
were
on a heater.
talking about it, he was disappointing us. It was like,
He was
Nobody-
disappointing y'all. I still believe.
oh, so you thought he was great?
He's good.
No, at that moment you thought he
Oh,
was great.
Great, so
Yeah, that's what I'm
strong.
saying.
So strong.
He's been playing well though. Been
Because
playing
he's the
really well.
guy. I mean,
Yes,
why are we
I
giving up on players that are
I
as
just-
good as he is?
Nobody gave up
No,
on him.
You gave up on him.
We gave
You gave up
giving
on him,
the
man.
Giannis comments.
Sorry.
That was fucking out of pocket.
You're off the Scotty train. Done.
I don't really care. I have Alperen Sengun, Josh Giddey. I'm fine. Those are my pre-draft gems, so I'm cool.
What do you think Barnes could be? I think he could be like a Draymond like star.
What
Like
do you mean by
a
that?
connector on offense.
So I
Not
feel like I was
Draymond.
gonna say offensively, Scotty's
Yeah,
already
okay.
better.
When I say Draymond type star, like the
I know
defensive
what you
backbone,
mean. Yeah.
the offensive connector, like I think he can be that.
Because I was gonna say, in terms of sophomore players, Scotty's top 5 in every category: points, rebounds,
He still is
assists,
not taking that superstar leap. Though.
steals, blocks.
Yeah.
screaming,
No,
But
fine.
superstar
that's-
leap.
yeah.
He doesn't take a superstar leap.
No,
here,
screaming
too.
at the stray.
That's okay. No, I'm fine with the stray. I mean, I was very confident in Scotty this year, but he's right now playing the way I was expecting him to play. Still not a superstar, but still, he's playing very well recently.
So would you say that in the first half of the season he was disappointing?
no,
Okay. Despite the expectation you had.
nah.
Okay. Distinct
Bro's gonna
class.
die on that.
$1.99 donated.
Dude,
Riv,
come on,
our
come on.
Warriors are scaring me.
Yeah, Riv, what happened last night, bro?
5 and
We
18 on the
tried-
road.
We tried giving you guys that
fucking
game.
choked.
We tried giving
5
you
and
guys that
18
game.
on the road.
The first of all, last night's game was really fun. It's really entertaining.
It was a good game.
Yeah, great game. You'd love to see that. We owned the Celtics. I'll be honest with you. They
Just lost.
Yeah, we did lose,
They
but
beat us in the finals, so I can't
let's
talk
be
much
let's
shit.
be honest. We had that game in the bag comfortably. A lot of turnovers towards the end. Steph just choked.
Did it go
But
all downhill when Steph said, "This is my city"?
It did not, because we went up like 12 after that. It went all downhill. I think like 4 or 5 minute mark.
Oh, so in the fourth quarter when Steph needed to be big.
Yeah, Steph choked. That's really pretty loosely I can say Steph choked. We're good though. Everything's good.
It'll be straight. You saw my tweet?
What did you?
Yeah, I did see that. I was just
did
like,
too,
come
too.
on,
What'd
bro.
you
What's
say?
going
It wasn't
on?
last night's game, but I said
It
that
wasn't.
you guys could take the Nuggets, Grizzlies, whoever. I still think the Warriors come out of the West.
Ah, you finally
I-
step over to
the thing is,
to the dark side.
The Warriors.
He has no
They
backbone.
just-
This guy's no backbone.
He's Mr. Flip aside.
Maybe
He's
it's
scared of
just. I had
I
to
mean,
make the
simple
one.
as that.
I had.
He's scared of us.
He is.
Literally, I am. I swear to God, I am.
He-
I think that's what it is more than anything. I just don't want to see them in the final, so I can only see them.
It's a
be
little
there.
reverse psychology. He's like, please, God, please, God, please.
Jinx
God.
it.
I'll pray to God someone takes you out.
Yeah, I get it. It's okay.
The Celtics would win this time around if they were to.
Yeah, no, that's not true. I'll be honest
All
with
right,
you.
I
No, I'm
guess so.
I'm
No, I'll be
serious.
honest. I don't know what would happen.
Yeah, I
They
believe.
see the Warriors, and suddenly their skill level goes down 50%.
I don't want to find out.
Wiggins is Steph.
To be
Tatum's
fair, after
daddy
the first
still.
game we played, we didn't have Al or Rob.
That is true.
We had them both this game.
Both JB and Tatum.
We both had
Extremely
stinkers.
inefficient.
I shouldn't say stinkers. Inefficient.
Andrew Wiggins, man.
JT with 19 rebounds was crazy.
He had to.
He's the GOAT.
This from James Antos donated $10. How did you guys link up and know each other for the new people tuning in? I have watched you guys for over a year and have no idea. Amazing show, fellas.
I love answering this question for the 15th
Do
time.
your thing.
So we went to Hackensack High School, but we weren't really friends outside of me and Joel. But me and Joel were late additions. Joel and Riv, they were talking on Twitter one day. They were having a debate. I don't know on what the debate was specifically, but then Joel kind of went to Riv, was like, yo, what are we doing talking about it on Twitter? Let's do it on a podcast. Then they went to New York. This is when JC was also on the show. Shout out to John
Shout out
Carlos.
JC.
And they went to the city. They recorded the pod. They did that for a little while. And for a while, that's what they did. Then Jack came onto the show. Jack was on here for a while. Shout out to Jack as well. And then Jack left the show. And then me and Joel were playing Xbox. We were playing Call of Duty. We were talking football. And then Joel was kind enough to invite me on the show. And then I was on the show for a while. And then a couple months later, we invited Joel to be on the show because Joel is one of my best bros. And there it is. Pick a side.
That was perfectly said. And the last donation from Josh MS donated $2. Love y'all, by the way. Here's since like 100 subs. 100 emoji goats.
That dude's a GOAT. Shout out to him, man.
So,
Here at 100 subs is impressive.
yeah, that's day one.
That is a day
That's a
one.
day one.
That's a day
Bro, he
one.
was ass at 100.
I wasn't here at 100 subs.
Jesus.
That was, I think that was the Siakam video.
Shit was
You
a
know what was
struggle.
cool to see, though? Your guys' first video ever has over 1,000 views.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's firm.
Stuff.
That's
Yeah.
firm.
I'm scared.
People def just go
I'm gonna go watch
sort
that
by
shit
oldest
later
date.
today.
I was watching it a little bit when we were here last
Yeah,
time.
facts.
Yeah.
The
I think
Dak
it had
topic.
like 500 first day.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
There was a
really
lot of
cooked.
anticipation for
Cooked,
that
you cooked.
first episode, yeah.
When we were doing the fantasy reaction, our videos were doing pretty well, too, when
Yeah.
we first
They were going
started.
Well, yeah, facts.
We had a 1,000 view clip, too.
Yeah, first
Yeah.
month or two.
Yeah,
That
and then
was
we
our
fell off.
first 1,000, the Pascal Siakam one.
Nice.
So
nice.
we hit some of the
Pascal
Canadian demographic. Well, I think you were shitting on the Raptors.
And now you guys shit on the Raptors when the Raptors were one of your biggest fan bases to start, man. That's why I got to
We
ride
have
for
a
the
love
boys.
hate.
I got to
have a
ride
love
for the
hate-
sick.
hate relationship with the
You have a
Raptors.
valid reason.
Yeah.
You have a valid reason.
We you know, they cool though.
Your the Raptors fans and you.
Don't see eye to eye.
Nah, it's definitely not the best relationship.
It's like him in Atlanta.
Mm.
Yeah, just don't see eye to eye.
That was, and it still rubs me the wrong way, the way that the fans kind of interacted with you, but
When?
it is what it is. When the Raptors fans were giving you shit,
Oh,
yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that shit
That's
is
because
funny.
they tend to overrate the team.
and it's a whole country. You have to remember that.
Exactly,
It's Canada.
for sure.
Whole country is right.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the video, it wasn't this, but it was something. Okay. How far can Pascal Siakam lead the Raptors?
Oh, I've been saying this
That
shit for
was the
3
video.
years. Then nowhere.
you guys? Come on, man.
I think that was the year I played in the bubble. I picked you guys.
Let me look at the
Against the Raptors? Get them.
let me look at
was a
the
comment I read
at
that
the
too.
comment.
Yeah, they made it interesting.
They always do. They play hard. 48 minutes. Nobody's moving.
We probably had a couple of store collapses in that series.
Bro,
Pretty usual.
the guy on the left doesn't know what he's talking about. Didn't know the playoff format and saying Pascal 3 is average. Raptors are going to the finals, fam. Nah, it's funny because that's how all negative comments begin. It's like, oh, this guy was so wrong, and then I'm gonna say something even dumber.
Oh man.
So grading rebuilds, I thought this would be a good idea for this episode
What?
because there's quite a couple teams that are rebuilding, but I don't think all teams that are rebuilding are doing it properly. And then there are some that are acing it and doing an amazing job. So the first team I want to grade is the Oklahoma City Thunder because they're in the play-in mix right now. SGA has taken a superstar leap, and he's also playing great defensively. Josh Giddey has improved as well.
The whole team's playing great defensively.
And if you were to give this team a grade, what is it?
I wish there was something higher than an A+.
Yeah.
Because this is an absolute A+. You have your superstar in SGA, and if you don't want to call him a superstar yet, I'm fine with saying future superstar because that's exactly what SGA is. He's been unbelievable this season. And you just have a very solid foundation. Right now, you guys are overachieving. You guys are a top 10 defense right now. The offense will come along. The personnel they don't have right now, the personnel they have right now is still working into
growing.
Exactly, very well said. But the defense is way ahead of schedule. And this is before Chet Holmgren has even taken the floor. They don't have an elite rim protector. You will have that next season when Chet Holmgren is there. And with the plethora of picks that they have, it's inevitable that they hit on another star player. So this is just the best rebuild right now in the NBA.
I believe this upcoming draft is their only one for the next 4 or 5 years where they only have one first-round pick. I think that every year after that they have like at least 3.
No, it's scary too because a lot of their picks now are protected. Will be theirs next year.
Sam Presti, that's the GM,
Presti,
correct?
Yep.
Man, listen. You mentioned the offense needs to catch up. They're a top 15 offense in basketball, and it's just SGA and others.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like you bring in more
Josh
guys.
Giddey, respect.
It's
Like it's the star and then a bunch of good players.
He's been playing really
Over
well.
the
recently.
last 20, I think he's averaging almost 20
He's
points.
shooting like 40% from the corner 3. Like he's been
He's shooting like
he's been
33,
very
34% just straight
corner
up.
merchant.
Very quiet too. He's been one of the better sophomore players in the league.
I give it an A. You got to give it an A. I mean, the way they've
Just an
constructed
A, bro, no plus.
A+. You know, I'm not a school head, so A is just A for me. It's the
Fair
same
enough.
thing.
A's an A.
Yeah, A is an A. It's great.
You are a school head, bro. What are you talking about?
But you know what I mean.
I know
this
what
shit mid. An A is an A. They've accumulated so many picks. They're built for the future. They have a lot of young talent. You know, Dortz, Giddey, Shet, who he's going to be back next year. SGA, a lot of good players. Their coach that they've instilled in Mark. He's a good coach. Someone that has instilled defense into this young group, and it's so hard to get young players to buy in on the defensive end because they come in fresh off
100%.
AAU or college or something like that, and they don't really play defense to them. So it's so hard to get a young team like this, very young, to buy in defensively. And when you can do that, that's incredible. So the fact that they're in the play-in, I think that speaks volumes. Even if they don't make the playoffs, just to get that experience to play in that type of atmosphere, I think that helps this team. But you got to give them an A. I mean, they got Cat, they got draft picks, and they got a star. Pair them with another, get a couple vets in there.
Yep.
This could be a playoff team and a scary one. They could have a Memphis Grizzlies-like leap.
I know we still have to see Chet
Like this
Holmgren.
season?
No,
Or
no,
down
no,
the future?
like down the
Okay,
future.
okay.
I know we still have to wait on
Hold
Chet,
on.
but
Yeah.
do you believe that Chet could be that star next to him?
Not now, but I think he could be right now. I think he could be like a third star.
Okay.
I think he could
So
be
it's
like a defensive star.
It's unreasonable to expect him to play similarly or a little bit less than Banchero.
No, I think it's reasonable to expect him to come in and be really, really good on defense. I think
sure.
I
I
think you
agree.
can expect him to come in and anchor the rim, come in and be a solid switchable big.
100%.
I think you can expect that. The offense is probably going to take some time, but I think defensively you can 100% expect him to come in
100%
next
agree.
year and be great on the defensive end, especially with that length, that size, the way the NBA is going. Yeah, he's probably
He's probably what?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I think you can expect that from sure, especially with the way they're playing. The timeline jumps. When you play this well, when you're a team that's achieving this much so early, timeline jumps. We thought they would be what, a bottom 2-3
Terrible,
seed
honestly.
in the AFC. I said the AFC.
I know what
in
you
the
mean,
West,
in the
but
West.
now the timeline has jumped. They're better than a lot of teams. I think they're higher than Portland, the Lakers.
They're the 9 seed
Yeah, so
right now.
they're high. A couple
9
teams
seed.
we had ahead of them. So the timeline jumps. You have to get better, so you expect more.
Yeah, I give them an A as well. You guys said basically everything, that's been going on with OKC Thunder. Once Chet went down, I felt like we all wrote them off saying, okay, another year, you get another top 5 pick, and then you run it back for the 2023 season. But they've been tremendous this year. It's not just SGA. I mean, you have guys like Isaiah Joe, Trey Mann, Jalen Williams, who all been playing really well. You have all of those draft picks. You have SGA finally taking that leap. And I think it's not a bad thing per se, but they're getting to the point where they're accumulating so much young talent that eventually they're gonna have to get off some of this and trade for a potential superstar. I have a couple Thunder fans who are friends of mine. One name that keeps popping up is Pascal Siakam. That's a team that we've talked about that possibly being moved off.
Okay.
Maybe not this trade deadline, but possibly in the offseason if the Raptors really want to blow it up. Thunders have picks, have young players, so if they want to go make a superstar move, Pascal Siakam is a name I think that would fit really nice with this team.
The OKC Thunder have 13 first-round picks from now until
What the hell are you
2026.
cheesing so much for? You okay?
Yeah, I'm great.
Alright.
They have 13 first-round picks from now until 2026.
It's crazy. It's fucking crazy.
They have a ton of picks. I'm the grade I'm going to give them is easily an A+. They're a borderline playing team. They might not make it. The West is very tough right now. And I don't think it's a bad thing that we had them where they were to begin the season. They're the 10th seed right now, but there are teams like the Suns, Trailblazers, and even Lakers that people probably would have pointed to be better than them right now. And even then, the West is so tough. I mean, the Lakers are the 13th seed, and they're only 2 games behind OKC. So, you know, the West is so loaded right now that OKC could very well finish 13th and still have a really great record for their standards and for, you know, a playing team, borderline playing team standards. So
yeah, they could
like
win,
OKC's
feel
rebuild.
good, and then still get a top 7 or 8 pick.
I think what's interesting about some of this is that, if I'm not mistaken, OKC has Detroit's pick, which is protected. So if they Detroit would get it back this year, but they don't get it next year. So that kind of it's lottery protected. Okay. So that kind of puts them where like next year it's like we don't have our pick. And then Portland's pick, who's below OKC right now, is lottery protected, and the Bulls have it. So that's also another thing that you got to keep track of down the road. Because if they do
those convey to unprotected
so the Bulls
picks?
might not have any first-round picks
first?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's so.
What was that Detroit? What did they give it that first for?
It's a great question. I don't remember.
That's a very valuable
Was
pick.
that for the Jalen Duren trade, or was that with the Hornets? That's the only thing I could think of off the top of my head.
That was for Jalen Duren.
Okay.
I believe, yes.
Okay.
Conveying that to an unprotected first is nuts.
But very interesting. Very interesting.
Thunder team is fun, man. Play with heart, play with grit.
Next team up is the Utah Jazz. I'm giving them an A+.
So, sorry, just to say this one thing. In 2024, they will basically have their pick, Clippers pick, Rockets pick, Jazz pick.
Oh, my God.
And the Rockets will suck next year.
The Clippers could blow it up too this offseason.
In 2025, they will have Clippers, theirs, Rockets, Sixers, Heat.
Why do they have the...
It says multiple deal. Sixers, Danny Green trade.
Clippers is Paul George.
Rockets one was Westbrook.
That's what I was wondering.
Jazz was Derek Favors. Ooh, that was a minute ago.
Damn.
They got that pick from the Rockets because of the contract? I don't understand.
Trade. Remember when
got it. Interesting.
Shout out Sam Presti, man.
No, he's the
GOAT.
He's the GOAT.
He's playing fucking GM.
Utah, I definitely think they do flirt with an A+. Especially for the fact that, again, they're one of those teams that are overachieving. You have players that you could build around. Lauri Markkanen being the star of the bunch as well. And to acquire 10 first-round picks this offseason and to play significantly better than what most had expected, and what by most, basically everyone, because everyone figured you guys would be in the running for Victor, when simply that's just not the case. They have definitely exceeded expectations on both offensive side and defensive side of the ball. But yeah, I'm fine with giving them an A+ if you want to do that. To have the plethora of draft picks that they will have over the next few years, let me not just say few, for a long amount of time, you will put a great foundation around these guys right now. So I'm definitely fine with that.
Danny Ainge just doing it again, man. Did it with Boston, got off the vets, and he did it with Utah this time. I gave them an A as well. I mean, you move off Rudy Gobert, his contract, and truly the player. You get all of these fucking draft picks, literally a treasure chest worth of draft picks. One of them turned into Walker Kessler, who this year has, especially his last 4 or 5 games he started, I think he's had 3 double-doubles in a row, including a 2020 game. Got a couple nice pieces with Malik Beasley and Jared Vanderbilt. And right now, they're 4th in offensive rating, 11th net rating. Their defense isn't good, but overall, you got to be happy. I mean, if you told Jazz fans you would have about the same record as the Timberwolves in January, I think they would be elated with that. Now, maybe it takes them back a little bit because they're not in contention for like a top 5 pick, say, right now. But you always have to be happy with winning, even though you're part of a rebuild.
It's easily an A+ for me. They turned Mitchell and Gobert into Laurie, Walker, Malik Beasley, O'Shea, Vando, Sexton, and then have 7 unprotected firsts on top of that. And they also have a ton of pick swaps. I think about up to 4 or 5 potential first-round pick swaps. Yep. So they have so much leverage because of this move. And I don't think it's the worst thing to be in a competitive rebuild and to have players that are solidified. Lauri Markkanen is an all-star. Nobody expected the Jazz to get back an all-star for Rudy Gobert or Mitchell it was always maybe they get a young player that has potential. O'Shea has been getting minutes recently, and he looks like the player that he was in college, just somebody who can contribute at every single level. And Walker Kessler has been, I think, the biggest surprise of any rookie.
Great.
I know John was very high on him pre-draft, and
John.
he's somebody that is already one of the best shot blockers in the NBA. He's a great rebounder, and offensively, he has some touch that I think, quite frankly, Rudy Gobert lacked. And when he was with Utah,
Traded Gobert and got Rudy Gobert light.
So I looked it up while you were talking. This draft, the Jazz will have the 2023 pick of their own. They will get the least favorable of Nets, Sixers, Rockets. So whatever the worst pick is, they get that. And then
when you say worst pick, you mean the highest pick?
Okay, so
lowest pick?
The worst pick would be the highest pick.
Gotcha,
So the 30th pick is the worst pick. Yes. Hey, for me, I've been tweeting about them for a lot. I've been tweeting about Walker Kessler for like 3 weeks. His impact is like he may not win Rookie of the Year. He may not have the flash of Boncaro and Mathurin, but his impact is right up there with them in terms of what he's doing for his team on the offensive end. Defensively, the anchor, he's been down low. How great of a screen setter he is, the touch he has around the rim, how good he is on the boards. I mean, he's a good player. And then Laurie, this change in his offense. Shout out to Will Hardy for putting this offense together. Shout out for Laurie to getting out of that, getting in this environment, because this opened up a whole new arc of his game. Jordan Clarkson has been phenomenal as their clutch scorer, their bucket getter. That's something to look forward to. Mike Conley's still a solid basketball player. So and even if they don't plan on staying here, these are guys who can still compete at a high level in the NBA for a playoff team. This team is good. Jaron Vanderbilt, Kelly Olynyk has been solid when he's in the lineup. He deals with a bit of injuries. This team is really good, man. I think, and I said it before, I said this team, if they had a star, would easily be a top team in the West, because they have such a good collection of good role players, and then they have a second star.
Just one more
in Laurie. Yeah, just one more star. This team would be so good. But shout out to them. I give them an A because they've been well. Like you said, I agree, Joel. Competitive rebuild, there's nothing wrong with it as long as you have the players, you have the coach. They have the coach, they have the players, and they have the owner. So you have a guy who's not afraid to make moves. He's smart and strategic and cerebral in how he acts and how he maneuvers in the system. And then you have Will Hardy, who I think is one of the best young coaches in the league. So I think that's something you look forward to. So definitely A.
We're going to talk about the John Wall interview a little bit later, talking about the Rockets. But I know teams and fan bases always want to go into these complete overhauls and rebuilds, but being the worst team in the league with no vets and no direction, it's not always the best case scenario.
Gordon said, nothing's changed.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's not always the best case scenario.
He was so disappointed.
Next team up, the Houston Rockets.
Yeah, this shit is a fat F.
Yeah, I think for right now, I'm going to give them a D for the sole fact that
you're a Jalen Green guy.
No, I think they have great young talent.
They do.
Alperen Şengün is great.
That's
KPJ has been awesome defensively this year. And offensively, you know what he brings. Jalen Green, offensively, over the last month, I think he's averaging 24 points per game.
Can I ask you a question then?
Go ahead. I know what you're going to ask.
No. I'm not gonna nitpick anything from the past. I'm curious about this current conversation. D, even though you like their young players, I feel like that would be a reason to maybe even give them a little bit higher grade, honestly. Can you stop it? I only say that because Kevin Porter Jr., I am a fan of his game for sure. Jalen Green, we understand that his talent offensively is there, and he has a very high ceiling when it comes to scoring the basketball. Alperen Şengün, he's already shown a lot in a short amount of time. And, of course, the only one who really I'm iffy on is Jabari Smith. He's struggled this year, shooting under 40% from the field. He really hasn't been all too great. He also is shooting the three-point ball way too much for my liking as well. I think he's had 5 attempts. I think he's shooting 32%. I mean, for his size, that's not bad, but still, I don't love that, especially for the fact that his efficiency as a whole is not that good. I want to see him be more dominant down low. But if you like the young players, why the D then is what I'm curious about.
They get the D because
yeah.
Because the only thing that's holding this back from being an F is their young talent. The only reason they're not an F is because they have a lot of talent that, if it's in the right culture and situation, can be really good. They don't have a coach. They don't have a culture, and the higher-ups want to lose purposefully. Mm-hmm. And we saw that in the John Wall interview and how he kind of exposed that.
No doubt.
And for me, it's more than just the guys I named. Kenyon Martin Jr. has been really good.
He has.
When he starts, I think he's averaging 16 to 18 points per game, and he's somebody who has to get better as a shooter, but as a defender, he's very versatile. He can guard multiple positions. Jabari Smith, his efficiency isn't great, and I want him to shoot threes because I know he can make that shot.
Fair.
And that's the player he was coming out of college. He was a stretch big. Defensively, he's been fantastic for the Rockets this year. He's been really good. I think he needs to be more aggressive in rebounding and boxing out. But Jabari Smith, his efficiency's just been hurting him. But he's had a really good year, I'd say, despite that. He's doing all the other things that show positive sign of a player that is going to be
See
good.
where you're coming from.
So for me, they have a lot of great young talent. Like I'm saying, like 5 to 7 young rotational players that can really play. They can really play. They just need those veterans. And Eric Gordon, he even mentioned that he's seen no improvement. I think part of that is Steven Silas. Part of that is the higher-ups. But Alperen Şengün, since dating back to last year, has been quite easily from the eye test their best playmaker and facilitator, especially when they run the offense through him in these dribble handoff actions. And that's when Jalen Green's at his best. So for me, it took way too long to finally give Şengün the keys to this offense.
Yep.
And that's why you've seen his assist numbers skyrocket from 2 to now 5, 6, 7. He had a triple-double recently, the youngest center to ever have it.
He killed the Lakers the other night.
So Şengün has been like that. And because it's taken a while to get to that point, I kind of blame Silas for that.
I don't disagree all too much. The only thing when I think about it, when I think of a rebuild, is the first thing you need to have in place is the players. And it seems as if they have a solid foundation right now. So for that, I'm going to give them a C. And I believe in this foundation. I believe that you can definitely get these players and develop them to a point where this team can be competitive. You're not competitive right now. You're one of the worst teams in the league. You're going to put yourself in a position where you could potentially have the number 1 overall pick and draft Victor to the squad, or have a Scoot Henderson come to the squad. So with that alone, you're getting, regardless of how you want to shake it, a great prospect. Either you're getting one of the greatest prospects to ever play the game, or you're going to get a very firm, established prospect in Scoot Henderson. I just feel like if you have the players, you can definitely have the other pieces fall into place, like a great head coach that could just come in and really develop these guys. So for that, I give them a C.
It's tough because if they do fall into a Victor or Scoot, we look at it way differently. I think when you look at a team like Jazz or OKC who has the talent already, and you could kind of feel the culture being built already,
Fair.
And then you can compare it to the Rockets who they have some of the talent for sure, but they don't have a guy like SGA, for example. And it's not like SGA is, someone that's just going to be in every draft or in free agency or trade that you could even get. Like even someone like Laurie, who is obviously great. SGA is just kind of a one-of-one player, so I don't want to make it seem like I'm just comparing it to him. But yeah, I mean, this Rockets team, I don't know if this John Wall interview is just skewing me right now, but it just the lack of leadership. I mean, it's not just that they don't have vets. Like out of everyone who's getting significant minutes, like Gordon's the only player over like 24. Like we're not even talking about like a year 5, 6 guy. We're talking about guys who are years 1, 2, 3 in the league. And I understand playing your young guys. We're going to talk about some other teams who aren't playing their young guys who probably should be a little bit later. But right now, this Rockets team has the talent, but the culture and the head coach too as well. Like Steven Silas doesn't feel like he's the long-term option for this team. That makes it hard to make it anything higher than like a C or C plus if you're really a Rockets fan.
I don't think you can give this any type of passing grade because although they may have the talent and they may have the picks, they haven't shown all right, so comparing it to their peers, OKC has shown the talent, they've shown strides in their games, they've been competitive. Utah all the same. With Houston, it's like they don't have the coach.
Yeah.
And their front office is shaky.
Agreed.
And definitely the players, the talent is there for the players.
But that's shout out to the front office.
I agree, but John Wall said it, and you got to take what he said with a grain of salt to a degree.
Shout out to the front office for drafting them.
Yeah.
I understand, but Jalen Green,
they were quite obvious picks. That's
why I don't
want to give him too much credit.
Şengün was a good pick.
Şengün was a good pick, but
Jalen Green's the only pick where you could think
he was a top 10 prospect.
Jalen Green was the only pick where people were still like should have went Mobley instead of Green, but even I don't
even
think
it was Mobley and Green debate, and
Mobley and with Steven Silas, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I think JB Bickerstaff was the perfect world for him. I think with this team, like John Wall, he said it. You gotta take it with a grain of salt, but you gotta understand it too. He said they would be out the league if they're on another team, and that's something you got to kind of look at and be like, well, what's going on over there? It's no accountability, it's no leadership, it's no mentors over there, and these are young players, and now you're gonna bring in another young player next year. That's kind of like, all right, that's kind of tricky.
Can we compare this? Because I feel like it's unfair to compare it to OKC because OKC, I think we all can agree, are just doing it the best of the best right next to Utah. I feel like if you want to really compare the Rockets rebuild to another team, it's a team that we're going to speak about, and it's the Pistons.
Oh, we can do that.
The Rockets are different, though, because OKC's been in this rebuild forever. Like, the Rockets really only been in rebuild for a couple seasons.
No, I disagree with that.
No,
Right when they traded
OKC
Harden.
made the playoffs in 2019.
Even still, though, like the OKC
OKC
was
did
that
make
was that a
it.
did, but that was
championship?
because
Like with
CP3
Harden,
was
they were
there.
going
OKC
for
has generally-
championships.
OKC has
you're
been
making
in
a
a
good
rebuild
point.
for 2
He's
seasons
making.
only. The Rockets have been in a rebuild for a shorter amount of time,
But it feels like
I feel,
but it feels like it's
did-
worse.
what
I
did
think
you-
Detroit's been in like
What
the
was
longest
the term
rebuild.
you used for Minnesota this season that the GM said was going to be the Minnesota Vikings this year?
Competitive rebuild.
Competitive rebuild.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what it was when Chris Paul was there.
Okay, that's fair.
It was a competitive rebuild. So I
People
feel
didn't
like
want Chris Paul when he got traded. To Chris Paul was not this hot
They
commodity.
They made the
Chiefs.
playoffs.
I
though.
know they
They
overachieved,
overachieved.
but it was
that's what I
after
feel
that. That's
like
when Chris Paul
that
went to
move
the
was
Suns.
But I'm
a
talking about like
competitive rebuild.
tearing it down.
No fact,
They
but
had Danilo, they had SGA,
I feel like
they
tearing
had
Young
Steven
SGA.
Adams. No, SGA, yeah, in the second year, but SGA was very good that year.
Yeah, he was
It
good,
was
sure.
CP3,
But he was
SGA,
but SGA was a
Gallinari,
part of the
Steven
rebuild.
Adams.
Yes.
Again,
He was
I
the
feel
main
like
part
And
of
a
the
shooter
rebuild.
off the bench. They had the best three
SGA
guard
was
combo.
SGA was got.
Like
two
I wouldn't
starters.
you can level
classify
with
that
me-
as rebuilding.
if
That's
you
what
could
I'm
just
saying.
if you could level with me with it being a competitive rebuild, then it's been going on for a
Because
little.
that's not the
a few
champion. That's not your
years.
championship
been
core
going on
that
for
you're
3
going
instead
to.
of 2.
Since when Chris Paul was acquired by OKC, that's when it.
Yeah, I
that's
guess
when it
it's
started.
not a big gap. It's a year.
No,
No, that year
facts.
was definitely because they got SGA to start the rebuild process.
For sure,
so
absolutely.
They just overachieved.
Yeah. Definitely.
Like if they would have traded CP3 and Danilo, then that's like
Yeah.
a full on rebuild. Like
Mhm.
Houston has been in a full on rebuild. We traded Russ, we traded Harden. They've been in it for less time than OKC.
It just
So
in
feels
terms
so
of tearing it all
long,
down.
man.
And the reason why I want to compare it to Detroit is I feel like these are two teams that we look at that in their respective conference are the worst. I think that you have the Hornets too have been playing really bad, but I feel like they have a different purpose where
you can throw
they had-
Charlotte in here too.
No, definitely you could. But I'm just looking at the Pistons where they've been in a rebuild for a while now. And really, what do they have to show for it? Cade Cunningham, for sure, but he's hurt this season, unfortunately. So this is another situation that you have to kind of look at with a grain of salt. But what foundation do they have as compared to the Rockets?
Whoa.
At the
They got
minimum,
Ivy, Durant.
at
They got young guys for sure.
Duran's
So they're real
Duran's
good.
definitely
Detroit's
been
rebuild
solid.
also started 2019.
Yeah.
It feels like.
But
it's-
I'm
They
just
prolonged it because they had Blake.
for sure.
Yeah.
They
But
fucked
I'm
up
just
with that
looking,
one.
at least with
Yeah.
the Rockets, you have Jalen Green, you have Kevin Porter Jr., you have Alperen Şengün. Like these are three players that you can definitely
Well,
look
Detroit has a player and a coach.
But Cade
Dwayne
is one
Case
of those.
is not a coach I'd be high on.
He's not, but he's not.
He's
Steven
not bad.
Silas.
That's a coach of the year. Yeah,
It's like an extremely big.
When's the
gap.
last time he had a winning
it's
season?
been a while, but when was he on a winning
The last time
team?
he was in Toronto?
Facts.
And he hasn't even really been developing these players properly on Detroit.
See, that's another thing too.
That's true.
So with the Rockets, for me, the reason why I don't really think this team needs more young talent per se.
Okay.
Like I understand you can't miss some of these top prospects for sure, but they have really good young players. For example, if they draft Victor Wembanyama, I mean he's generational.
Absolutely.
Where does Şengün fit into that? Where does Jabari fit into that? Jabari's more likely to fit into that.
You get scoop.
And Şengün now kind of gets kicked out, and Victor is generational, so I'm going to reiterate that. But I think Şengün can be a top 10, top 5 center in the league. I think he has that type.
You don't
of
think he
potential.
could play the forward?
Şengün?
Mm-hmm.
Not in
Where's
this,
Jabari?
not in
Okay,
today's NBA.
listen,
Jabari's
but
another
this is-
issue there,
all right,
too.
Joel, I'm with you. I was.
Yeah,
I was.
it's a
until
tough
you-
situation.
No, it's not. It's
Okay,
not.
let's hear it.
I
What do you
was
mean?
with you
What?
until you said, "What about Jabari Smith?" I will be completely honest.
Send him
with
to
you.
the bench.
If Victor's on the board, you don't give a fuck about Jabari
He's
Smith.
100%
You
correct.
don't.
No, I'm not. I'm not saying you care about
Yeah,
that.
no, Victor can play
I
the
know
four.
it's obvious you draft.
So
I
you'd
think
rather have
Jabari can play the 4. That's what I do.
No, you put Şengün at the 5. You
And
put
Jabari goes to
Victor-
the bench.
Jabari
Victor
can
at
go-
the 4.
listen,
Victor can play the
go
4.
Detroit.
You're right.
Yeah,
You're
Victor
right.
can play the 4.
I'm not a big fan of the Şengün Victor combination. I'm not.
Ah,
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, that's
I'm not a
tough.
big fan of it.
I mean, I definitely
Don't fight
can
it.
see the upside of it.
You don't
Like,
think it fits?
the upside is way higher than Jabari Smith and.
Yeah, well, we know that
Şengün.
anyone with
Like,
Victor is going to have a higher upside.
Wait, Victor can do almost everything
think
Jabari can do, but better.
In terms of fit, I like Victor and Jabari more
Why?
because Alperen Şengün, you're gonna have to run the offense through him. I think he's most effective when you run an offense through him, and I feel like
Well-
Victor, given the type player he's gonna be, he needs
Then
that.
somebody has to go.
That's
Let
what
him-
I'm saying.
It's
And
not
if
Victor.
it's Scoot, KPJ is now out. You know what I'm saying? So with the Rockets. Like, I know it's obvious.
Or
I'm
you
not-
moved.
I'm
Or
not
no,
saying
or
it's
you
an
moved.
No,
argument.
am I saying because I don't want to mishear you? Are you implying that they can pass on Scoot or Victor because they have?
I don't think that's
I don't
what
think
I'm
so.
saying.
That's
That's
not
not
what
what
I'm
okay.
I just
What
think
I'm-
it
what I'm
makes it
saying-
difficult
what I'm saying
with
is
the
that-
fits.
The Rockets have 6 to 7 young players who are actually good.
Okay.
Who can, like, Jalen Green can be a star, one of the best shooting guards in the league. Şengün can be one of the
Tallest
better
Jalen
centers in the league. I think KPJ is coming on as a player. I don't think he's a true point guard. So of course they need a true point guard in this system. Kenyon Moran Jr. has making strides. Jabari Smith, I understand the efficiency's not there, but defensively he's going to be one of the better defensive bigs in the league. And like, I really believe he's already good defensive right now. Once he puts on that weight, he'll be better. It's just that I don't know if bringing in another young player to fit in with these 8 young players in rotation already is the brightest idea, or if it's going to really necessarily help them. Like, I think we look at the Rockets right now and they have a core of like 7 to 8 players, but realistically, half of this team is they're going to move on to other teams because there's just too many young players. And I noticed it when I was playing 2K. I was playing 2K one day and I was looking at the age of the Rockets roster, and I'm like, God, I'm
bro.
like, wow.
No one's older than 24.
Yes,
except Eric
everybody
Gordon.
is 22, 23 years old. They need minutes. There's something there. And it's just they have a lot of players, and there's very few clear standouts. And for me, I think if that they can let these young players grow and add some veterans to it and a good coach, we'd be talking about this team a lot differently than we are right now.
What's the alternative, though? You trade that pick for a vet, a star
or
vet?
get more picks?
No. If you have that pick,
No,
you
have to
take
draft
Victor, you
him
take Scoot.
regardless.
It's
I
simple.
agree.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
But
that-
somebody will get, but that will now impact somebody else. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying, but I think when you talk about just talk
Because, for example, like Detroit, I think the key players in their core are Ivy, Cade, and Duren. Those are the locked-in 3.
Yep.
I don't think Sadiq Bey is a locked-in guy there,
No.
right? So, but even Duren, let's say the Pistons luck into the top pick. Victor, of course, is going to be in that spot. Duren's now the backup. If they get Scoot, that's a better fit. But then it's a better fit, of course. With the Rockets, I feel like KPJ is very young. He's already an 18 to 20 point per game scorer. Jalen Green's a 24 point per game scorer. Şengün is good. Jabari is good. You have 4 players that I think could be locked in long term. They just have not found their stride yet because there's just no guidance in Houston. That's what I'm saying. There's there's holes in San Antonio. There's holes in, for example, Charlotte, Orlando. I look at the point guard and guard positions there. The Pistons, the forward and point guard positions there. For Houston, it's not a obvious hole. It's just these players are just so young that they're now finding their way currently, but I think that they can be something legitimately.
It's just tough because there's 2 generational players coming into this class. Like, that's tough. If Scoot's there, you move off KPJ.
I was gonna say
immediately.
Scoot makes it
no
more
doubt.
seamless for the Rockets. If they get Victor, I mean, if you have number 1 pick, you select Victor Wembanyama. You don't think twice. Then it becomes a little bit more
Yeah,
complicated
like, what if
when it
it's
comes
the
to the
third
lineup.
pick? What if they don't get Scooter, they don't get Victor?
You take Asar Whitmore.
Or one of the Thompson dudes.
No, you don't take
Asar Thompson or Cam Whitmore?
Yeah, you take because they need a 3. You take a 3. I would take a 3. That if they get to 3, it's perfect.
And
That-
that's not worst case scenario because
I
you
think
if
the
it's
only
a team
spot
better,
is missing is a 3. I think so. You take one of them, but
you're telling you missing on the generational guy.
yeah, you tight. But if you believe in your 4, then you lock in on the 3. But I think it's tough because I get what you're saying with they don't need more young talent, but Scoot is just so ahead in terms of maturity and discipline in his game. I think that one will be okay. I don't know about Victor outside the personal stuff, but the way
I don't want to speak for you, Joel, but I'm pretty sure we all agree that if you get Scoot or Victor, you make adjustments accordingly. It does not matter.
Can Jabari play the 3? I haven't watched much. Of it.
No.
No.
That becomes a lot.
Can
I
he
was
not
actually
work
thinking the
too
exact same
playing the
thing.
3 or
I don't know.
no?
He might be too big,
Too
dude.
slow?
I know that Laurie, the way that they did things in Cleveland, that's the one thing that came to my mind. Is it possible to run Jabari, Victor, and Alperen? I don't know if Jabari allows you that luxury.
I mean, you're right. I mean, they do
He
need
can
to start
stretch,
at 3
but I don't know.
because Eric Gordon is
No, I get it.
Yeah.
He's
But look, these are the young players: Kevin Porter Jr., Jalen Green, Jabari Smith, Şengün,
Tari.
Tari Eason, I really like him a lot. I do.
too.
Kenyon Martin Jr., I like him a lot. That's a 6 right there, and everybody else is really whatever. You know, like
I hope he wasn't going to say Jason Tate. I was going to get mad.
No. Yeah.
Tate.
I don't
He's
count
like
Jason
20,
Tate.
he's like
But yeah, those are 6 players
Old for
that
the
I
Rockets.
think are really good. Like, I like their potential a lot.
So if they get the 3rd pick, this all is cool. Like,
Facts. It
get a
works out
wing.
for him.
boom, boom,
Sounds
bada
just like
bing.
they need a
Brandon
head
Miller,
coach with
you
more
know?
of a vision.
If I'm Rockets and I have 3, I contemplate trading. Is that wrong?
For who?
You're not getting 1 or 2.
Trading down
No,
or
you can
trading
trade.
down.
Why?
I don't know. Get more assets for the future. Someone's gonna want to move up to 3.
It depends on who they want.
I agree.
Because trading down out, like if you get the 3rd pick,
There's talent in this
What's
draft.
the
no doubt.
tier 2? How many players in this tier 2 of this draft? Like we know Scoot and Victor are 1. How many are in
tier
that
2
tier
is
2?
like the Thompson twins, Nick Smith, Whitmore, Brandon Miller. That would
So
be
like
tier
3
2.
to 10 almost
4
feels
of them,
like.
3 of them are wings.
So you want one of those wings if you're
If you like, it's possible if you trade down to 7, all 3 of them wings are gone.
So you probably just take who you want at 3 and hope.
Okay.
Yeah, if you have 3, you have your option of picking the
So
best.
you're against if you have the 3rd pick.
Yeah, I
trading
think you
it.
keep it.
Okay.
You
fair
don't like
enough.
long-term Tari Eason or Kenyon Martin Jr. being a starting 3?
Tari's intriguing because he could shoot.
I would probably if I would lean more like Whitmore or Asar, honestly.
I like Tari a lot.
Yeah, I
He's-
think
he's
Tari's
intriguing.
good. I think Whitmore provides that same physicality at a younger age, and I think his defensive potential is a lot better. I would take, if I was the Rockets, I would take Whitmore. I think you can't bring Asar into that environment. They already lack the spacing and the shooting, and that's something he proficiently needs. So I think you bring Whitmore into that equation.
Next team, this is the last team in the West, the Spurs. What grade do they get?
Well, they still have the coach.
I gave him a C-.
Because they developed Vassell and Keldon Johnson.
They did.
And they're both young players, really young players. They're both 2 really good players. Jakob Poeltl isn't old. He's a good player. Trey Jones, he's young. Jeremy Sohan, Malachi Brand, in his limited minutes, he's really good. They're okay. I give them a C. They're fine. You know, they have a good collection of young players. They're still missing that
Star.
one changer.
They
Yeah,
need
that one.
a
But this
guy,
draft
yeah.
will
It
give
could
them
be
that.
It could be
So
this one.
this is a team that mightily needs a top 2 pick. I
Yeah,
think.
that's why this is a C for me because they're forming a team, but like we mentioned with the Rockets, they don't have that guy at like Keldon Johnson, Vassell, Trey Jones. Like the fact that they're developing them, you see that as a positive. But then when you look at the other teams like Shea or LaMelo or teams or Paulo with the Magic, it's like they already have their number 1 without a doubt. So the Spurs could look different at the trade deadline. I know Jakob has been in trade rumors for potentially 2 first-round picks. I don't think that happens. Doug McDermott as well, possibly maybe for a couple like second-round picks or something for a team that needs a shooter, maybe like the Lakers, who I'm sure Drew would love to have. So this team could definitely they could move from a C to an A if we're being honest. If they get a top 2 pick, get a first and second-round pick for Doug and Jakob. But right now you got to go with like around a C range just because it's an incomplete rebuild so far.
Yeah, this one is the TBD. As of right now, I will stand C minus. I like Keldon Johnson. I like Devin Vassell. I mean, he can shoot the basketball, but these 2 are their best players. And these aren't 2 guys that I look at, and if we compare it to the field, like, again, I like the Jalen Green, Alpin Sengun, Kevin Porter Jr., Jabari Smith over Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell. If you don't agree with that, I mean, I understand that people believe in Keldon Johnson's development. I'm one of those guys. I like Keldon Johnson's game as much as the next guy, but it really does depend on whether they bring in Scoot or Victor. And Greg Popovich is a great coach, but it's getting to the point where Greg's not going to be around that much longer, so that's another process that you're going to have to go through of finding the next guy, the next heir apparent to come develop these young guys.
Been flirting with retirement.
But it's tough for me because San Antonio is a team right now that's one of the worst in the league. It's an ugly built squad. It's been young players that they've been developing for a while, and to their credit, at the minimum, they're starting to flourish this year. But it really is dependent on whether they get Victor or Scoot for me to really give them a better grade than what I have right now.
And credit for them developing DeJounte too. It's a name we haven't mentioned, but credit for DeJounte flipping him for multiple first-round picks. You know,
and that's another reason why I took that into my deciding factor of their grade also. But where it currently stands with the players on the roster, it's not great.
It's not.
And they haven't been performing great either.
But they're also succeeding. They want to lose. They're succeeding and losing.
I can't disagree with you there. But the Hawks are playing decent basketball. I mean, they're a play-in team. They want to be better than they were right now. But It's not like they're going to. I mean, sure, there's potential that it could be a lottery pick, but towards the back half of that lottery. But I mean, those picks are going to be okay.
I give them a B. I like the Spurs a lot. I'm not gonna lie. The only reason why this isn't an A for me is because I don't know who the coach after Pop is gonna be. That's really it.
Who on this team gets you going?
I think Keldon Johnson
Fair.
and Devin Vassell are two complementary stars.
Stars?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think that Keldon Johnson's averaging
I
21
think Devin
this year.
Vassell has the game for it.
Devin Vassell.
Keldon's solid.
Yeah, Devin Vassell can defend really well, and before he got hurt, he was one of the better mid-range shooters in the league. I think he has a lot of
And
Chris
three
Middleton
ball
in
is
his
shooting
game.
40% from three.
Yeah, I think he has a lot of Chris Middleton in his game. I do. Devin Vassell, he's a comp that I have for him.
That would mean the star would have to be top 5.
The star would have to be Victor or Scoot, you know? So I think you add Scoot or Victor to this. I'm looking at this like, wow, they have Scoot, Keldon, Vassell.
They definitely need a point guard or a
just-
center.
it-
So.
The lottery
feels
is
like-
such a crapshoot, though. You can't feel confident.
even
that
your
they
best
could be
chance
number
is
And
one or
also,
14%.
Jeremy Sohan, I like his
It's a
game
nice
a lot.
piece.
I like his
nice
work
piece.
ethic.
He's
I love
going
it.
to be awesome. His
Like
floor.
laughing.
Just a funny thing to say about it. Like, you don't like anything about his game, just his work
No, I like his
ethic,
game, but I like his work ethic. Like, I
His
like how he
floor-
works.
Okay.
His floor
Oh, on the
is
court, you're
a
saying you like it.
top utility player.
I don't know if you're saying like how he works on the court, like he's a grinder, or his work ethic, like in the
No,
gym. That's why I'm confused.
he's improved from
He's about
his
the grind.
first month.
He's about the
and
grind.
now he's been a lot better since his first month. I
I
like
got
his
you.
I mean,
work
bro,
ethic.
I
He's in the
mean,
gym.
people-
Like RJ Barrett's highest thing was his work ethic. Like he works really, really hard. You know, type shit.
People
He's a
say that.
grinder.
It's like
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts. If you told me that your favorite thing about him was his work ethic, I wouldn't say you're wrong to say that.
No, without a doubt. It was just
I get it. I get it. You never heard in the NBA and shit.
Nah, that's what kind of caught me off guard.
But Jeremy Sohan, I think he's going to be one of the better defenders in the league. I do.
Joel cracks me up when he's just waiting for us to
Yeah, I'm just waiting. Yeah, over here talking about grinding and
talk
stuff.
about Jeremy Shaw.
No, San Antonio, they need
And
a point
Trey
guard
Jones
center.
is at least one of the better
Yeah.
backup point guards in the
Solid.
league. You
Solid.
know,
It's
so,
like his brother. Yeah.
yeah.
I think.
And they got 3
yeah.
firsts for DeJounte.
Yeah, no, they need a point guard or a center. They either Victor or Scoot or I think Amon, like you or Nick Smith, but Nick Smith's knee. But I think Amon and me and John was talking about this shit like 2 weeks ago. We were talking about the perfect spots for Amon, and I think we touched on Utah. I think San Antonio will be the other one that's like really, really good for it because the Thompson twins are either going to be really fucking great or bust. There's going to be no maybe
between.
Asar might be the in-between one, but Amon, primarily on him, he's only going to either be really great or a bust.
What comps do you have for the Thompson twins?
I don't have a comp at the moment. They're very rare.
Okay.
They're
How many
with
young
nasty
cores
bounce.
in the NBA can say that they have 2 players averaging 20 points per game?
Probably 0.
Well,
Rockets.
I was going to say the Rockets.
Who's the person that was 20?
Jalen Green and Porter averages just under
right.
20.
I forgot about Porter. I be forgetting he's
Yeah, that's one of them for
Yeah.
sure.
That,
But the Jazz, it's
just Laurie.
Just Laurie.
No,
Clarkson?
Clarkson averages 21.
Yeah,
Clarkson's
Clarkson
not
is
20.
not
young
a
core.
long
Clarkson's
term.
30.
Oh, he's not a young.
Yeah,
fair.
yeah.
You're saying young core.
OKC, Giddy's not averaging 20.
Franz isn't
But
around
he's
20.
been
No,
been
he's been
a
an
very
awesome-
good
Franz
Franz is
offensive player
close.
recently.
Isn't Franz
Franz
like
close?
18?
Yeah, it's-
right now?
It's Franz and Paolo.
The
Okay.
only clear-cut ones are really,
Rockets and Magic.
the only clear-cut young duo that I look and it's better than Keldon and Vassell is the Magic with Franz and Paolo.
What do you mean? What do
In
you
terms of like these,
No,
young
he's saying
duos
the
that we're
two,
talking
the young
about.
duos
you
that
think
we're speaking about now.
fuck.
Like for example, let's talk about the Jazz first. Like what 2 young players that they have?
Yeah, that's what
currently
you think.
are doing
The
that.
Spurs have a top 2 young duo.
I wouldn't say a top young duo. Like what do you mean? Like under like 22
no, he's
years
saying
old or 23?
All right, Riv, I can make it really easy.
Out of
the
these
groups,
rebuilding
yes,
teams.
Yeah,
of-
I'm talking about the rebound too.
Okay, so the Jazz, they don't have that.
You think OKC you think San Antonio's duo is better than OKC's?
I
No.
would say no.
Okay.
No.
I would say the Magic.
That's
so
because
that's
SGA is a superstar.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And
So
then
that-
Orlando, you would take
I
Orlando.
would take
right?
the Magic.
But the Hornets don't have that.
What
I don't
about
have this- okay.
Rockets.
what about Detroit?
You're a big
K-
Jalen
K-
Green
K-
guy,
K-
which is why I'm curious.
Jalen Green is my guy.
And Alperen
KPJ
Şengün?
is not. Well, Alperen Şengün, I'm a big
He's
fan of.
KPJ.
him.
But that's the duo right there. It's Alperen and it's Jalen Green. I personally,
tough.
It is.
No, that is tough. That's a toss-up. I would go with the Rockets, but the Spurs have the culture in place that these guys are learning how to play. You know,
you
actual
would take
basketball.
San Antonio or Caden Ivey?
San Antonio right now.
San Antonio
Yeah.
right now. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I see what you mean. That's why I wanted to ask. I wanted to get a little clarification type shit.
Like Keldon's averaging 21
I
and a
feel
half.
like that ceiling is higher though.
No, there's is
Caden
way
Ivey is
higher.
higher.
Like Vassell's averaging 19.4 points per game this year.
Yes, decent
Keldon
efficiency
21 and a
also.
half. I really do think the Spurs
Keldon's
are like a
efficiency is
player, like a superstar player away from being like, oh shit, this seems really fucking good.
Keldon would be 24
Keldon and
this year.
Vassell are good.
He's very young. At the
I
end
mean,
of the year,
again,
too.
like I said, if they get Wembanyama or Scoot, it's a completely different
and
conversation.
he's on a friendly. Keldon's on a friendly deal.
Yeah,
On a
he
rookie
is.
deal still?
No,
he's
he
on
got
just
expensive.
friendly.
He signed an
Is it
extension that was
17.5?
not,
Yeah,
not
it's nothing
Yeah?
that
crazy.
expensive.
Nothing crazy. Let's look at his shot chart. Clown ass.
He just had 33 and 11.
No, I just want to see his shot chart. That's all.
His 3-point shot could be
Shots.
better. It's not that good.
Well, you know, he came in
It's
as a
slightly under average.
slasher. He came in as a slasher. Let's see.
He's shooting 42% from the field.
He shoots under league average. In
That's
the
what I'm
paint.
saying.
In the paint.
He's not that efficient.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Spacing out there isn't great. He's above the league average on 3-point percentage on the left side.
I love laptop Rev.
In the corners, he's really efficient.
You guys switched.
I lied.
I told you I gotta boycott the laptop
He's
for a
also
little while.
terrible from the middle to the top of the 3-point line. He doesn't take mid ranges at all.
I like him.
He's pretty garbage.
I like him.
He's pretty
Fuck with
garbage.
mid-range.
In the box, he's very not good. Very inefficient. Yeah, no, laptop rib is legit. It is. I love Stab Muse.
Stamus is the GOAT.
So looking at these other teams in the East, the Charlotte Hornets,
Oh,
Yeah.
this is gross.
I'm giving them an F. I think this is a failure.
They got LaMelo. It
I
can't be
I
an
gave
F.
him a D.
That's all
I
they
gave him a
have.
D.
You gave them a D? What have they done?
They have LaMelo.
That's it.
Enough
Yeah,
of that.
LaMelo.
Stop it.
You know, we did this with Tom Brady. We fucked up.
What?
We said the Tom Brady effect. You're doing it with the Hornets, talking about the
There's no
LaMelo
I
ball.
don't know how much of a
Stop
Exactly.
it. Terrible
You're
comparison.
going doing it
from
with
an
the
F to
Poopy
a D.
comparison.
You're doing the LaMelo effect.
I'm not telling them
That was
they're
a
gonna win a
poopy
championship.
comparison.
I'm
He's
saying
gonna
they're the fucking F
He
to a
won't even-
D.
Well, I
Here.
think the Hornets get an F because
He didn't
they don't
draft
have
well.
any young.
They don't
They don't
draft
have
well.
any good, like really good, solid young players outside of LaMelo. Like I like McDaniels, I like Mark Williams for sure.
Send Cam to Charlotte.
But Rozier, Hayward, and Plumlee are their three vets, and they still don't win.
They
They
don't
should
even
be.
play.
They should be trading them.
Yeah, and
They
I don't
should,
know
like
if
Terry
Steve
Rozier should
Clifford-
be in trade talks. Plumlee
Who
should be
wants
in
Gordon
trade
Hayward
talks.
for 30 mil in 20 games?
Why these guys?
I said no one. All right.
Terry
And I
Rozier's
don't
a
think- I don't
tradable
know
guy.
if
Very
Steve
few
Clifford
lists
is
of
a
people I don't
tradable guy.
want.
Gordon Hayward plays 30 games a year.
I said Terry Rozier's tradable.
Oh, yeah, he is.
Plumlee could be a backup big on a
He
contending
tickles my
team.
fancy.
Nobody wants Plumlee. People would.
I would rather have Plumlee than Luke Cornett.
Really?
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
Plumlee's been doing his
You
thing.
have Al Horford and Rob, though.
I know we need someone else.
I thought they both don't start.
Who?
They will. I think they do. Robinson's
should've.
starting again.
Plumlee's
Robinson's
good,
starting
man.
again.
Why? Because
I don't
Grant was
disagree.
starting for a little while?
When Rob was out, yeah.
Word.
Or no, when Rob was out, we were going small, and Al was playing the 5 for a lot of time.
I think you should play one of them at the 5.
Our
plays the
whole
4.
run last year was with both of them starting.
I'll tell you what, the whole
when you
Miles
fucked up in
Bridges
the finals.
situation definitely does set back the
Get that
Hornets
free.
in their
No, you
foundation
don't.
of what they're trying to build. I understand the logic behind the F. They have had a terrible draft history. They definitely got fortunate into LaMelo dropping to 3 because there was conversation they should have gone 1 or 2. Of course, Ant-Man going 1 is fine, but Wiseman going 2, that was a clear mistake. They got fortunate with LaMelo at 3, but that's really been their only hit. Of course, bringing in Rozier on a very friendly contract, that was beneficial. He's definitely gotten better since joining the Hornets, but that's also due to, what's the word I'm looking for exactly? I hate that you guys aren't helping me out.
I don't
here.
know what you're talking
I
about.
don't know
Yeah,
what
I
you're
don't
saying.
either.
Just in terms of just, my God.
I'm sorry, bro. I don't know where you're
Opportunity?
going with
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
That's all I needed.
I
It's-
just threw a
yeah,
word
They
out
no.
there,
drafted
I'll be
James
honest.
Bucknight, and he's the boss.
Hey,
No,
hey.
he doesn't play.
Their
Use
draft-
other people.
Their
He
draft.
should play it.
No,
You
you
use
can't.
other people, bro.
PJ,
I know what you said about him.
PJ
pre-draft.
I
Washington.
know, but you could use other people.
Kai
bro.
Jones.
That's
There you go.
another
Yeah,
one.
say other
Kai
people.
Jones.
Kai
Respect-
Jones,
respect
PJ
James
At the
Washington.
Green.
minute, if they're the worst team in
James
the league,
Bucknight's
why
going through a lot
why
at
doesn't
home.
Bouknight and Kai Jones get playing time? The fact they get no
Because they don't know
PC,
how to
It's-
play.
well, they're also not
I'd
that
rather
good.
just fucking
They're also
figure-
not that good.
and I'm not
I'd
even
rather
talking
see
about
him
like the
than-
skill. They just don't know how to
They cannot defend
contribute
me.
to winning.
But the reason why
Well,
I
they're
can't,
not winning with whatever players they're playing now.
Yeah, and
Say
Kai
that one
Jones will
word,
make that
and
work.
My monologue's done. But really, the only reason they don't get an F is because they do have an all-star in LaMelo Ball, and at the minimum, you have an idea
I was gonna ask
that
out.
we are. We say that one more time.
was gonna ask out. He's gonna
Maybe
eventually
he
ask
will.
out Charlotte.
But at the
Probably.
minimum,
All
if
right.
you are the Hornets front office,
Enough is enough.
your game plan is to build around LaMelo Ball. That's it.
I have the draft. I have the draft history. Enough is enough.
It's an F plus.
It's, no, it's
So
terrible.
they had Duran, trade him. They drafted
Mark Williams.
Got Mark Williams.
Okay.
No, he's been good. He's been
Yeah,
good.
but like Jalen Duran's gonna be way better than him. James Bucknight, Scotty Lewis, he's in the G League.
Just keep going.
Yeah, LaMelo.
Yeah,
solid.
of course.
Vernon Carey. Anyways, PJ Washington,
He's mid.
He's
Mid.
leaving possibly after this.
Cody
year.
I mean,
Martin,
out of all of their
solid
draft picks,
player.
he's probably top
Jalen
3.
McDaniels.
He's doing okay.
SGA they had traded. Malik Monk.
For Miles Bridges.
Yeah. Malik Monk, he's gone and having fun somewhere else. Malachi Richardson. Ooh. Frank Kaminsky. Wow. Noah Vonleh. Wow.
Frank Kaminsky was good in college.
Cody fucking Zeller.
Yep.
All these
Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. This shit goes back to 2012.
Rookie of the year.
Actually, it might get worse. No, Kemba was solid.
No, Kidd-Gilchrist was not.
Oh, no, I'm thinking
I
of
was gonna
MCW.
say.
Sorry.
Wow. 2009, Gerald Henderson. 2008, DJ Augustine. Brandon Wright in 2007. Traded him. Adam
This
Morrison.
is
2006.
horrendous.
They just don't.
Hey, Raymond Fountain was good. 2005. Emeka Okafor.
17
This
years
shit doesn't
ago.
get better.
Raymond Felton was better on the Knicks than he was probably
This
on the
shit
Hornets.
doesn't get better. If I'm gonna name this next
I
name,
mean,
Kirk
you're naming.
Haston.
No, you're naming
Who's-
them when they
who's
were
the
the
owner?
Bobcats.
Just sell the team.
Kirk Haston. Anybody know him? Jamal McGleer. Plays for the Heat. He has a ring, I think.
He's actually pretty good, yeah.
Yeah. Baron Davis.
There you
There
go.
we go.
Okay,
So,
there we got what,
Ricky
2002.
Davis. That was 1999, bro. I don't want to read the rest. Oh, no, I'll read this one. They had Alonzo Mourning. Okay, that was good. Larry Johnson. So they were good in like the 80s.
No, they were a good team, yeah.
Who's their owner? I
Oh,
think Michael
MJ.
Jordan. He
Yeah.
needs to get
What do you mean you
fucking
think?
fired.
It is Michael Jordan.
I don't even know what's going on.
He's the
over
owner
there.
and he drafts. He's a fool
He is an idiot.
when it comes to drafting.
Is
be
he
the
the one
goat at
that actually
everything.
drafts, do you think?
I don't know. I think they have a committee.
But
like
he
a group of
definitely
guys.
has the
has a
most
say.
say.
He has
Yes,
input,
sir.
yeah, definitely.
He definitely picked Malik Monk. He looks like he likes a Malik Monk guy, undoubtedly.
Malik
He
Monk is
smacked
probably one of
the
their best
shit
Yeah,
out
draft
of
yeah,
him.
picks.
he
Yeah.
definitely picked Malik Monk.
This next team, the Pistons, what are you giving them?
I can't.
It's hard because Cade's out the whole year, so you don't know what this team.
I give
not
them a
the,
C.
Not the team
I
would
give
be
him because
great.
they have the players, so I give him a C.
I'm giving
Yeah.
them the exact same grade that
Cade,
I'm
Ivy,
giving San
Duran is
Antonio.
the only three I look and
What'd
then
you
like
give them?
locked in.
I give him a C-, C.
Is Killian Hayes actually good now?
No.
He's
This
been
is the
playing.
best
Is he
basketball.
part of
This is
this
the
young
best
core?
basketball he's played of his
Well, he's
life.
on a contract year, so
He-
this could be a fluke.
He has the fewest points per possession in the NBA.
It's pretty crazy.
He's been good though.
Is Sadiq Bey?
No, he's been good
A
as
long-term
opposed to
guy?
what he's been in the past. So let's not get it cloudy. He's still not good.
Hot take: I can see Hamidou Diallo being on this team longer than Sadiq Bey, and I'm not even trolling.
I remember in Diallo, I thought he could be
He's a good player.
decent.
He's
Yeah.
a
Sadiq
very-
Bey regressed, yeah. for sure.
Anyways,
Diallo
Hamidou's a good
was
player.
not
He's-
bad.
Yeah, he's a good player. I
That's
give
what
him a
happens
C.
when you build bad habits for players. You know, Sadiq Bey is supposed to be what Zaire Williams is for the Grizzlies.
Yeah, I mean, coming out of Villanova,
He's just a role player.
He had good moments as a Piston so far.
he'll drop a random 40 ball this year.
Yep, that's Sadiq
he's
Bey.
good. I give him a C because of their players. You know, when you have Cade, when you have Ivy, I think they've drafted well for the most part in the past 2-3 seasons. You know, Duran was a steal for them. He's going to be really good. Isaiah
is.
Stewart is solid. You know, that's somebody you can definitely look and be like,
Rim
that's a good
protector.
pick.
Facts.
But I think Duran, getting him along with getting Ivy and now having Cade, I think you've built your 3-part foundation because I think Duran, at 19 years old, grown man, the way he protects the rim and rebounds at this rate at a young age is really, really good. He still lacks a little bit of touch, and he's still a little flat on his feet, but he'll work on that. I saw that.
What do you say?
You was trying to touch him.
This guy.
It doesn't stop.
Yeah, but I think Jaden Ivy, Cade, Duran, you got your 3 spots, so I definitely give him a C for this.
Yeah, me too. I'm at C. Where are you at with it?
Yeah, that's about the same. Like Riv said, they have the players, and I don't know if they want to be bad this year, but once Cade goes down, you
They
definitely want to
definitely
be
wanted
bad.
to compete.
So yeah, at least now, I mean, Cade's out. Killian Hayes, I guess, is something, but like Riv said, what's it called? A contract year could be a fluke, but at the minimum, you're gonna get another good pick again with some good young players. We don't know. I guess there's a discrepancy in terms of
I
head
see him
coach.
get
long-term
another
with
pick
Casey.
too with Bogdanovich possibly getting moved.
Yeah, and you move
Right.
off him because they got him for a steal in the offseason. I don't remember what the package was, but
Kelly
I'm pretty
Olynyk.
sure. Yeah, they low-key traded him and got him for free. So if you could flip him for a first-round pick, I mean, you should. It seems pretty obvious that at the minimum you'd be able to get a first for him with his shooting. And then you have some young players around him. You get another top pick. It's another kind of incomplete rebuild because Cade is out, but they're not as bad as like the Hornets say. But they're not as good as like an OKC.
Alec Burks would be another person that's moved at the deadline. That's
The Lakers,
a
I'm
low-key
assuming.
name. I mean, I would not say no. That being said, it's similar situation for me when I talk about the Spurs. Of course, I just feel like Cade Cunningham out of these two teams is the player that probably has the highest ceiling. And that's no disrespect to Keldon or Vassell. It's just what Cade Cunningham was drafted to be and what he showed
Number one
last year.
overall for a reason.
Absolutely. He's a baller. It's unfortunate that he's going to be out for the rest of the season, but that benefits Detroit where now they can put themselves in prime position to potentially bring in a Scoot or or a Victor Wembanyama, and then that's when things start to become interesting. So I feel very similarly with all my thoughts that I said with the Spurs. They can be translated perfectly to the Pistons because Scoot and or Victor Wembanyama completely change how you look at them. But why I've been upset with the Pistons is because it's been years and years and years of being bad. Not mediocre, it's been bad. And I want to see better for Cade Cunningham, so of course I want to see them draft Victor and or Scoot because I like Cade and I like his game, and I think that he definitely has a very high ceiling. But Riv said it perfectly. It's Cade, it's Ivy, it's Duren. Of course, you have to respect Bogdanovich, but we're only talking strictly their young core. It's okay. It's a very solid start, but solely for the fact that Cade's there. Jaden Ivey still has to show me a little bit something. He's been pretty solid this season, sure, especially for the fact that it's his rookie season, but I still think he has his ways to go. But there's things to be excited about with the Pistons, but really it's dependent on what happens in this offseason.
And now the last team we'll talk about, and since the Pacers are in the playoffs, we're not going to talk about them. I think we can all agree they have an A+. The last team, the Orlando Magic.
The Orlando Magic have to be an A+. I mean, how could it not?
I gave him B+.
I gave them a B+. Too.
I don't like the
B+.
way they have so many. They have a I don't know. Damn.
Whoa.
Come
Yeah,
on,
this
man.
was nuts.
Let's get it together.
I don't know how to navigate this and say this in a way this people are gonna take it as like disrespect, but I don't think they've drafted particularly smart in terms of their guard play. Like I think they or traded or drafted. You know, I think picking up Cole Anthony, picking up Suggs, and then going to get Markelle Fultz. Now there's like a little bit of a logjam. Guys, they none of them complement each other. Let's start there. None of them, Suggs, Fultz, Anthony, none of them complement each other at all.
I don't disagree.
But I think when you picked up Wagner, I think that was a great pick. Boncaro, that was a great pick. Getting Wendell Carter in the trade, that was a good pick. Isaac's still young, but he hasn't played. You know, what can you see? Bobo was
solid.
A fucking steal. So I'll give him a B because I think their front court, they've done an amazing work at that. But I think their guard play, like the way they've managed their guard play is a little weird. Even R.J. Hampton, you know, what is he going to be?
A G League star.
Yeah, so I think the way they've managed their guard play is a little weird, but I give them a B+ because their front court is amazing.
The only thing I do want to pose this question to you, Riv. Let's say they passed on Suggs, right? On draft night, let's just go back to draft night and imagine they passed on Suggs and drafted Giddey instead. Right? In the moment, would you have freaked out?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? You would have freaked out. When the Raptors took Scotty over Suggs, you were shocked.
Yes. I was. Yes.
So in the moment, right, we can live in hindsight. We can understand that, hey, you know, maybe that wasn't the best pick because Suggs has been disappointing, sure. But in the moment, that was the right pick.
So, so can I throw you a quick question and, you know, we can let
It's their job
go.
to evaluate correctly, though.
I mean, but we all came together and understood Suggs was the selection there. For sure. This was to you.
Ask you a question. Because I remember I made a tweet about how Detroit doesn't necessarily need to take Scoot because of the fact that they have Ivy,
Cade.
They have Cade, and that's just too many people who need the ball. So for my thing with Orlando, they get the number 2 pick. Victor's off the board. I'm assuming you take Scoot, right?
Scoot.
So what the hell happens to the rest of the guards?
Well,
now
I
you have
feel like
4 guards on the rotation.
No doubt. Markelle definitely will get minutes, probably be a starter. I think you have to move Suggs to the bench. Cole Anthony's already a bench, is the 6th man for them.
And now you essentially drafted a top 6 pick to be a bench player.
No doubt. But that was Marcus Smart for a time period.
Marcus Smart
was a top 6. But I'm just letting you know that's what happened.
And I understand, bro. That comparison pissed me off too, bro.
What, the Marcus Smart one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you're not the first person to say that. I heard it before, and I think it's ridiculous.
But he used to come off the bench. I'm saying.
Marcus Smart was coming off the bench for a playoff team.
A little different. And I'm not going to knock you because you didn't watch college at the time, so I'm not going to knock you. But Smart and Suggs coming out, way different comparison.
Well, I mean, I did know of Suggs at that time, too. I mean, Marcus Smart was a little bit before.
Marcus Smart was known coming out like he wasn't a star, but he was going to be like a game changer in terms of how impactful he was for a playoff
Do you
team.
feel like Suggs was similar or no?
I feel like when he was coming out, we thought Suggs was going to be a lead guard, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. No, I'm not going to say you're wrong there.
Definitely
but
a lead
I think
guard.
he also needed to be a lead guard for the fact that the Magic needed that.
No, that was his potential.
No,
I think if he went to the Raptors, he was supposed to eventually
be the heir
replace
apparent
Fred.
for I was going to say Kyle Lowry leaving. That was supposed to be pretty seamless.
And honestly, when you look back at this draft, the 2014 draft that featured Marcus Smart,
I think it was mid, right?
It wasn't good.
Like you have Wiggins and Jabbar 1 and 2, and B was 3.
High school legend.
Gordon was 4, 5 was Exum, 6 was Smart. 7 Randall, 8 Stauskas, 9 Noah Vonleh, 10 Elfrid Payton, 11 Doug McDermott, 12
Elfrid
Sarge.
Payton is nuts.
Zach
said nothing
LaVine
to
and
ask him.
TJ Warren went
Yo,
13
Dante
and
Exum was a
14. They were
generational
good.
miss by everybody.
Yeah.
But honestly, yeah, this draft was very underwhelming. And, I give
Playoff team? The Celtics were a playoff team at that time?
No, not that year.
it probably would have been year 2. Year 2 definitely.
But that's
they
what I'm
were.
saying.
I don't think it was the year.
Team?
I
But
think
he
it was
averaged-
2 years.
he averaged,
Marcus Smart's second year we were.
He was 20 years old in 14-15 season. No, they won 40 games that year in his
His
rookie
rookie
year.
year?
It wasn't a
Yeah.
it wasn't a playoff team. But
They were like
really
a
competitive, like a
8
competitive
seed.
rebound.
Okay.
No, they
All right.
my bad.
Made the playoffs.
They made the playoffs. Marcus
Oh.
Smart's rookie year. Yeah.
No, I'm saying the year before.
Well, he
You're
was
right.
drafted like 6th, yeah. So,
What
I
year
mean, we
was
weren't
that?
that good.
Isaiah Thomas
20,
averaged 19, Jeff Green
14,
17,
13?
Bradley
14?
14.
14, 13, something like
Yeah,
that.
Yeah, that was the Thomas Green Bradley Sullinger year.
Gross.
Yeah, Olenek.
Gross.
Yeah.
But I feel like you get a Scoot, it's easy to just make Suggs your 6th man. Like, that's an easy decision if you're the
You
Magic.
would play Fultz and Scoot in the backcourt.
I feel like Scoot has definitely higher scoring potential, so it makes that a little bit easier because Markelle is going to definitely be the facilitator of the two.
They have to
Not that Scoot
overhaul
can't,
their
but I feel like
entire guard
Scoot
spot.
is just going to have
Whoa.
more responsibility to score a little bit.
So wait, you're taking the
he's
ball
better.
out of Scoot's hand.
No, I mean
you said
can do-
Markelle for facility.
I,
They all
I
have
mean,
to
but
go.
exactly.
You need a guard that complements Scoot. And
Markelle's
Markel's been amazing.
The Magic need to overhaul.
Yeah,
their
Markel's
guards.
been amazing.
They don't have guards.
Suggs
right
is
now.
a good
I
defender.
mean, you
future.
could trade Fultz. I mean, that's not a
Yeah,
crazy
that's what I'm saying.
idea.
But those three, like
What do
Cole
you
could
get?
stay because he's a bench guard.
he
a
needs
bench guard.
exactly.
Yeah, he's a bench guard.
I don't know what you get. I don't know what you get. But when he
For
plays,
Fultz?
he's good.
Second rounder.
You might get one.
bro.
You probably
He's
could
on the
get a
front
first.
His contract ain't bad.
No, the contract's not bad, but also when he plays,
Ooh,
he's really
what if-
solid.
Okay, so what if
Suggs is just—he's been very disappointing.
what if
bro.
San
I'm not gonna say you're
Antonio
wrong.
gets Victor? You can send Fultz to San Antonio. They don't have a point guard. Yeah.
San Antonio will be
You guys think the Magic should be winning more?
celebrating at that?
Oh,
You guys think
where
the
you going with
Magic?
this?
I'm saying, do you think they should be winning more?
I'm saying, where you going with this?
16 and 28, 5 games out
They
of the
haven't been
play-in.
healthy.
That's fair, but
When
I
they've been
never
healthy,
are.
they've been better.
But I feel
They've
like
been
they
better when they're
should
healthy.
have been a little bit more.
was
You got
gonna say,
Paolo, you got Franz.
they
Bobo's
started
having
off
a
slow.
great year. I know. I guess they've been doing better,
did-
but
it's not. He didn't recently come back, but of course he did miss the start of the season. People want to hold on to Jonathan Isaac. He's working in the G League right now.
he's
But
working.
I mean, what other than Markelle and Isaac are you really calling that injured? I'm asking because I
Suggs
guess
has been
Wendell
missing
Wendell
games.
didn't miss.
Suggs has been
Fair,
missing
good
games.
point. Good point. You're right.
I just
right.
5 games out of the play-in seems a little bit too much for me for this team that has
I think you're
Franz,
expecting-
Paolo,
No,
Wendell.
fair,
I
they're
think
super
we have
young.
to also. I mean,
Temper.
they're young. You know, Paolo's a rookie.
They are all young. They're coming off back-to-back years of like 21, 22 wins. I just want a little bit more.
I mean,
you know?
they'll eclipse that by then.
Yeah, but they might well like 28. I guess
That's a good improvement.
6 wins in an
Yeah.
82-game series.
I
In
think it
series.
is.
so
It's like an 8%
Jalen
increase.
Suggs is in the negative on offensive
He's not
impact
good, man.
and
It's
defensive
sad.
impact.
Yeah, that's why
It's
the
crazy
Marcus
because what he
Smart.
was supposed to do was.
But he's fourth in deflections.
No,
the
I only say
Marcus
Marcus Smart play the
comparison.
bench. That's
no,
it.
I ain't talking about you,
Word.
bro. I'm talking about Magic Twitter.
the
They're
masses.
dumb.
The masses.
Yeah, I seen somebody. They had a side-by-side comparison. Oh, Smart at age 20 versus Suggs at age 20. Look,
Oh, I did see
he's
that.
gonna be Marcus Smart. No, he's not. Jalen Suggs will never be a
He's
defensive player. of the
he's
year.
in the 13th percentile in
Never.
true shooting.
And I want it to be known. in
Gary
case-
Payne gave Marcus Smart his stamp of approval on defense.
Nice.
Jalen Suggs will never get that.
I just
Stop
want to make
playing.
I
sure.
feel like
Let's
you're so
stop playing.
emotional
I
over
see a lot
Marcus
of-
Smart.
I see-
You're
Let's-
Marcus Smart.
Let's
guy?
stop playing.
I see a lot of
love
Gary
Marcus. I took him
Payton.
over to Jonte. You remember?
Yeah, you
I'm a
also
big
you also
Marcus
said
Smart
there's
guy.
going to be some drama between Brogdon and Marcus Smart.
But that's because Marcus Smart has
No,
been
you said-
handling magnificently.
I see a little Payton and
he's-
Smart.
Marcus
I see
Smart
little
is one of
Payton
them
Smart.
pure point guards.
I'll tell you
Oh,
what.
yeah.
It's
He's
a
playing
question of
purely as
who
a
would you
point
rather
guard.
have as your floor
Last
general.
night was ugly, but
Lost me.
overall he has been.
Who?
Trey Young and Marcus Smart.
Because somebody told, so I saw a tweet about it, so I decided to ask the question. Make sure I
So
wasn't.
what do you think?
What was the percentage on that? Do you remember?
I'll have to
It was
double check.
60. It was like 60-40.
I think it just
or
ended.
closer to
Wait,
65-35.
what do you mean? What would I think? Like,
I'm asking you.
no,
Trey,
where's your answer
okay,
at?
the answer is Trey Young.
Oh yeah, that's what.
All right,
I
I'm
didn't
just
think
making
Smart.
sure.
No.
It's like, why are we asking that?
I just saw a tweet about it. It was funny.
I'm glad
What
you
did you see?
Somebody said Marcus Smart is a much better point guard than Trey Young, by the way, but y'all not ready for that conversation.
Marcus
just
Smart's
wanted
my
to
dog, so
throw
I'm
up.
not gonna say anything.
So yeah, Suggs stinks. But
And Markelle Fultz, if he can develop a jump shot, I like him a lot.
I'm a huge Markelle
that jumper
Fultz fan.
needs to
Yeah,
get going.
but
Just
it's
at least
been
a
the
midi.
league for
Like,
in
5
order to
years,
fit
bro.
I
around
don't even think
Paolo
he has
and Franz, you
5-year
need to
game
shoot.
film.
Yeah, that's
I'll be
true.
honest with
To be fair, he's been in the
I'm
league
gonna
5
be
years.
honest.
Played
This
for like
this
3.
might be a little crazy. Actually, I don't even think it's crazy. I think Cole fits. He has a more secure guard spot with Orlando.
I just said that.
He's just
Because
not good.
he's
a six man.
He's a six man.
I'm just not a
he gives you that
good.
Bones
No,
Highland vibe.
he is a
No.
definitely he's a good bench player. It's just seeing him last year and start and be so underwhelming. It was hard
That's
for
not
me.
his role. Yeah,
You're right. He's not.
Yeah, he's not a point guard.
Suggs is.
Let me be more Let me be more
I
pinpoint
think,
what I'm saying.
and this is gonna. I don't think Suggs can be Marcus Smart, but I think he can bring that type of value. Not at the same level as Marcus Smart, because Marcus Smart is like an expert at it. But I think Suggs can bring that type of value to a team.
Chris Dunn.
Jesus Christ. I think he
Jim
can bring.
Butler had him guarding Giannis.
Yeah. Terrible coaching. I think Suggs can bring that value. He just needs the proper
Bring him to LA.
development. No, he won't develop in LA.
He'll develop nicely next to
Next
LeBron.
to LeBron, he's
James.
going to be a spot-up shooter. He can't shoot. What are you talking about? He'll be defense.
He'll learn under Russ.
Nuts.
Be a floor
My
general.
goodness.
You guys don't want to win.
So
Not serious about winning.
Not serious about winning at all.
John Wall recently did an interview, and he talked
Topic
about the
number
Rockets.
2. What time we got?
Hour and a
1
half.
hour 30 minutes.
2 hours.
Yo.
So John Wall recently did an interview, and he basically called out the Rockets, said they have no culture or leadership,
Yeah.
and he threw a shot at Justin Patton. He did,
That was
which
crazy.
was one of the funniest moments of the interview. Yeah, it was
you,
was
John.
very
Shout out,
funny.
John.
What John do?
And John Wall said that he basically told Jalen Green and Kevin Porter Jr., what you get away with here, you're not going to get away with anywhere else.
I wonder what that really meant.
You'd be out the league if that happened. So what do you think that this John Wall interview revealed or exposed about the Rockets that's most concerning to you?
Oh, well, did you see the James Harden part?
It was
It was
really,
out to a little baby.
Little baby?
yeah.
I'm going to little baby.
I mean, is this news?
It's
Like
funny.
here-
No, James Harden's funny as fuck.
James Harden's no leader.
No, he's funny as fuck.
It's not that he's a leader. He's just living his life.
Bro,
He
so I'm doing
already,
little
he
baby
already
shit.
told him.
I get
he
it.
already told him that he wasn't coming back to Houston. He put in that trade request. He can do whatever he wants.
John Wall said, bitch,
He's
I
the
just got
king
here.
of Houston.
I get it. No,
He's the
that's,
king of
if he would have
Houston.
said that to me, I laughed. Like, this guy's not serious about winning. But John Wall said some
He
things that
won an MVP. All right.
ring. No, I'm sorry.
Wow.
He will get one eventually.
Will he? If
I
he
don't
goes to
know.
Boston.
Or LA.
Golden State.
No, he should.
Come to Golden State.
He definitely
I'd be a
should.
Boston.
No,
fan
listen.
for that.
Come to Golden
Can he be
State.
six man for us?
Run the
though?
O.
He'll start.
Run the O. Run the
No
O.
disrespect.
Six
Run
man.
the O.
He'll lead the
Oh,
second
yeah.
unit.
Golden State.
For
Come
sure.
run the
Him and
O.
for sure.
Steph all pin
He's gonna
downs.
get a. He's gonna get a ring.
He
for
will
sure.
get 18 assists. if
That's
he
why he
comes
has
to
the
Golden State.
option after
I
this
guess
season.
it's my turn. What if he comes to LA?
What's his option? It's probably,
His
probably like
chances
fucking
at
50
winning
mil.
Detroit.
go down the drain.
That's an option. San
No,
Antonio.
what's his player option? I'm saying
44?
Yeah, he's gonna
Mil?
opt out of 44 mil.
Nah, he took a pay cut. Like
Oh,
a-
right.
He can only
Yeah,
go
yeah,
to
he
Detroit
facts,
or
facts,
San
facts.
Antonio.
This guy just told me his chances of winning go down the drain when he plays with LeBron James and Anthony Davis.
He absolutely hates you guys.
Fucking loser.
35 mil.
Ooh, yeah, he wants more money. Shout out to John Wall though.
35 a year.
I'm really interested to know what John Wall is really talking about in depth. You know, I really am interested to know what them young boys is doing. I mean, we see a little bit on TikTok. You know, we see a little bit on Instagram. They like to party. They like to go in the locker room, have a little fun. They're young. They're teenagers / early. They're
Yes.
We're older than them, which is saying
Crazy.
a lot. We are older than them.
so he's not talking strictly basketball practice.
I think he's talking more about what young kids do, especially with you got they're rich, they're millionaires. You know, they got money. They got you see Jalen Green girl, you see Kevin Porter Jr. girl. They bag women, beautiful women. Like these women are beautiful.
Like the way I took it is
I gotta
they're
look up
in
their girls. I have
practice.
not seen
They're
them.
they're not taking it as
KPJ girl is the #1 pick in the draft. WNBA
Really, that's tough.
bust though.
oh. The way I see it, or the
Wait,
way
who are you talking about? What's her name?
The Kais goat. Her
I don't think she was the first pick.
she was.
She was like the 7th, 6th pick. She was lottery for sure.
Oh, okay,
so the way I took that quote was more
She's fire.
she is beautiful.
yeah. So
Brea Hicks, is that Jalen Green? Sorry,
Sorry, Drew.
we're talking about basketball here.
Yeah, keep going, Drew.
now I
my
forgot what
God.
I was talking about.
Yo, Jalen. Oh my God.
Yeah, I know, bro.
Goodness gracious.
This is
What was your
nuts
comment,
for
Riff? Damn it,
Instagram.
you guys interrupted me 3 times and now I
Nah,
forgot.
stayed
putting
focused.
this on Instagram for free.
I
is
should have
crazy.
stayed focused.
Putting this on Instagram for free.
Let me see.
Can you relax, please?
Wait a minute. Hold on, bro. No, wait.
Yo, nah, that's crazy.
Wait.
Are you about to take a picture of
Oh,
it?
I'm gonna look her up, bro. Taking a picture is crazy.
Bro, Bro, I need
We go.
the sound that Riv made. Oh my God.
Oh shit.
I'll remember that
Jeez.
forever.
Woo!
What kind of noise was that, Riv?
I couldn't breathe.
Yes, so I took that quote from John Wall more so thinking like in practice, they're kind of like goofing around. They're not taking their work as seriously as like other organizations or how other teams run their practice. So maybe they're just taking a lackadaisical approach towards the game. And that's kind of how I took it. It's like, yes, if you're going to take that same goofy attitude, and goofy is a strong word, but I mean, you're just not caring as much. You're definitely not working as hard as you can in other spots, then yeah, that's definitely not going to fly. I'm sure you go to Golden State and you're acting that way. Like Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, these guys are not going into practice not trying to get better. I feel like that's how I kind of took that quote. But I definitely feel you're talking about maybe like outside, they're acting a fool. Of course, they're young. They're in Houston. It's a good scene. They do them.
So Houston's fun. Fun city.
That's what I'm saying. So like I can understand where you're coming from, Riv, but I took it in the basketball sense because that's what they're talking about. But I feel you.
We talked about it earlier, how Eric Gordon really being the only vet. And earlier in the interview, John Wall mentioned how his rookie year with the Wizards, they were terrible, right? They won 23 and 59 his first year. And he even said that year that he lost more games than his entire career in high school, elementary school, middle school, and college and all of that. But it's true because when he got there, he had Gilbert Arenas, he had Rashard Lewis, Kirk Heinrich, like all guys who had been in the league. Maybe not the best.
What?
But he had vets there. At the minimum, he had guys who've been around the league.
Get you still.
I thought he was laughing at the Gilbert Arenas.
No, I'm laughing at this idiot, man.
Oh.
What did I do?
Bro, what do you mean, what did you do? Yeah, I didn't get a chance to appreciate that shit, man. Bro was...
I don't know. That sounded like your dolphin noise.
Nah, she caught me by surprise. You said, why was she posting? So I was like, hold on. She look good. Who girl's that? Jalen Green.
Jalen Green, yeah. Jalen Green.
Winning, man.
Women are crazy. I thought you were laughing at Joel because looking back, obviously,
Kirk Heinrich's mid.
Probably did some things he regrets later on in life.
It's okay.
Who?
Kirk
Heinrich's a
Heinrich.
good basketball
Yeah,
player.
and he's a vet.
He was okay.
The minimum.
Ball player.
He was okay.
They made the
He
playoffs.
was in the league for like
Heinrich.
fucking 14 years.
He's an all-star
He
game.
was okay. Am I right to say that?
He was an all-star game.
Really?
He's an all-star.
You know that on top of you? Really?
Fact.
Kirk Heinrich.
He's an all-star, bro.
Check me.
Respect
I'll
Kirk
look.
Heinrich.
I can apologize here. Fine.
Respect.
Fact check me.
But I think it just goes to show even John Wall, who, number one overall pick, had all the hype in the world, more hype than Jalen Green or Kevin Porter, all these guys. Like, he even still needed leadership. He needed someone to look up to be able to, get through. No? I would have been surprised. But he even needs someone to navigate the NBA. It's a completely different world when you go from college, high school, whatever it might be, G League to the NBA. You have all this money, all this opportunity, all of these women, sponsorships that when you're looking around your team and you have no one to go to because everyone else is experiencing this for the first time as well, it's easy to see how, the Rockets could be in a weird position, especially when you look at Steven Silas, who hasn't been able to build a culture, like we said in the previous segment, and hasn't been able to really, put his arms around these players and what it looks like from the outside, at least guide them. At least for the Rockets, like you could look at it and be like, yeah, they're the worst defensive team in the league, and that obviously has a lot to do with it, and the talent isn't there as well. But I think a lot of that has to do with effort to an extent, right? Like you have these young guys who might not be the most talented, but if you're even putting in effort and have some sort of will to do something on the defensive side, we talk about a lot. Like defense, a lot of it is effort and putting in the time to actually do it rather than just the talent alone. I think a lot of these guys want to get buckets. They want to get buckets, live in Houston, and do their thing. And I get that. But if you really want to, go far in the NBA, obviously defense is number one. You see the Celtics and Warriors, two of the best defensive teams last year. You go through the history of the finals. You're going to have a good defense. You're not going to be one of the worst defense in the league and really be able to succeed. So I think the John Wall, like you said, Riv, I want to know more about it because he kept it very vague and just saying like, the problems in Houston without really going deep into it. And I understand wanting to keep some sort of privacy, I guess is a better word. So you don't rat out all your guys, whatever they might be doing. But I think overall, like to come back, they need some more vets. They need maybe a coach who could fit this team better. But, this Rockets team has some potential.
The most concerning thing to me is I think the organization is intentionally trying to lose, and they don't care about how they go about it. I think that there are teams like the Jazz that ownership knows that they're going to lose games. You traded Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert. They understand that. They're preparing for that. But if all of a sudden they win in games, they're not mad at it. They're not going and trying to trade Lauri Markkanen for picks right now. They're not trying to do that. It feels like Houston is trying to lose at all costs. They brought in a coach that was a yes-man coach that did whatever ownership wanted him to do. And John Wall even said it, like, when he was talking to Steven Silas about being the starting point guard for that rebuilding year, Steven Silas said, ownership doesn't want you to start. They want to play KPJ, Jalen Green 20 minutes a night over you.
Yeah, they want you to get 15 minutes some nights, and maybe other nights you
not
don't
play.
even play.
Yeah, and John Wall was like, I'm okay with that, but they have to earn their spot. And I think a real healthy competitive environment, that's what happens. You look at Utah, just to use them as an example again, they didn't tell Jordan Clarkson and Mike Conley, oh, no, you can't play because we have to play Nickeil Alexander-Walker and Ochai Agbaji. They didn't say that. Ochai just recently got minutes and just recently earned it. And I think that's what John Wall's talking about, that these guys are not earning it. And ever since Tillman Fertitta bought the Houston Rockets, they have been one of the worst organizations in the league. He refused to go over the luxury tax to re-sign Trevor Ariza, which could have been the difference maker in that series versus Golden State because they had no wing defender in that year. Eric Gordon was starting at the 3. Now you turn your 6-man into a starter. And it's just all the moves they've done up until recently. Raphael Stone, they just all feel like yes men who are just answering to somebody. And Steven Silas is a head coach who has no control and, quite frankly, isn't also the greatest head coach, and that makes everything worse.
It's nasty in Houston, man.
Tough scenes. But you know what? I really, real quick, want to give credit to John Wall. He was very vulnerable, very open, and what he went through from that time, from being traded from the Wizards to Houston, in his personal life, forget about basketball, the loss of his mother, the loss of his grandmother. He talks about how he was very, very depressed and he had to go seek therapy at times. Credit to John Wall for being resilient, staying strong, and still being in the NBA and being a contributor to a basketball team. Because there's a lot of people that go through similar situations and, you know, they aren't as tough, they aren't as resilient. I'm glad he's coming on the other side, that he's willing and open to speak about it. And John Wall definitely, when you think about great players in the NBA, John Wall was one of the great players in the NBA for a long time, one of the better point guards in the league. And his career kind of gets overlooked because he did get injured. He got that crazy contract, and then he had the unfortunate Achilles injury, and he just tried to keep rehabbing. He kept re-injuring. And I just wanted to shed a little light on John Wall, just to give him a little bit of credit there.
Yeah, it's very humbling going from the number 1 overall pick, this, number 1 prospect, you go to Kentucky, do all this, and then you go 10-year great year with the Wizards. You were the guy the entire time. You get traded for Westbrook, and all of a sudden you go from Washington, which has been your city, your home for a decade, then you go to Houston, and it's a completely different landscape there, and things don't work out. You're out of basketball for over a year. You're rehabbing. So the fact that he was able to bounce back from this, find a home with the Clippers, I know he's been in some trade rumors recently.
He's hurt right now.
He is hurt. But, like you said, Drew, it's definitely a credit to him because a lot of guys would just fold. You know what I mean? Like, you go a year plus without basketball, years really with going from the guy, the number 1 option, to going to Houston and now the Clippers, where he's more of a role player than anything. Credit to John Wall. It was a really good interview. If you haven't watched it, definitely recommend it.
Yeah, the only thing I took issue with was when he was chatting about
LeBron,
them going and the Cavs didn't want to see them.
You agree?
Oh, really? No, they lost to the Celtics, but we who smoked the Celtics. I'm sorry, you lose me there.
I agree.
Oh, really? Yeah, you're a dummy.
They wouldn't beat the Cavs.
Another thing that he said that I did find was interesting. He said that he was the second best player in the East at one point in time. Respect.
What? What? What?
Yeah, he said. Yeah. In
what year was that?
At that time,
Kyrie was better than him.
Was that at the time?
What year was
he
that?
Better than.
If they were about to play Cleveland.
His best year was 2016, I believe.
Yeah, you're right.
Isaiah Thomas, was that his year?
Yes, it was.
Might have been the second best player in the East. What was the East that year? 26. God damn. I miss old hoops.
It was good times, man. It was really good times.
I'm looking at I want to look at the points per game right now.
Best player in the fucking East.
Paul George is in the East.
Oh my God, he was never better than Paul George. Let's be serious here, fellas.
What about DeMar DeRozan?
John Wall was nasty.
John Wall was nasty.
John Wall was
I would probably
nasty.
take John over DeMar. No trolling.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with that. I'm fine. No, I'm fine with Paul George. He probably was. He definitely was top 5.
I think so. Let's do it.
In the East. Okay. Let me know.
No, I think he was top 5
At that
I wanna
time?
make sure though.
That year,
I just 2016, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Cleveland won. I mean,
Mhm.
Cleveland won the chip.
Mhm. I know you still think about that one.
Please, I don't know what happened there.
You do know what happened.
I don't know what you're talking
Your
about.
goat choked.
I can't recall. As far as I'm concerned, the Warriors won the chip in 2015, and shit got blank after that.
Bro blacked out.
All right, you going to find it? Come on. You guys like to give me shit for not finding it.
Was Rondo better?
I'm taking John Wall.
Yeah, Joe.
I can't find it for some reason.
This is what happens when
Okay,
you become a
so-
computer guy.
Isaiah Thomas averaged 28.9 points per game that year.
Mm-hmm.
Was he better than DeMar DeRozan?
That year?
Yeah. So let's just ask this question again. So in 2017, was John Wall better than these players in the East? Because he said he was the second best player in the Eastern Conference behind LeBron at the time. Was he better than Isaiah Thomas? Isaiah Thomas averaged 28.9 points per game that year.
I would say no.
That specific year, nah.
Nah, IT was special that year.
IT was special, and he also eliminated him that year in the playoffs as
For
well.
sure.
Like he had 50.
IT went crazy.
Yeah.
Bless you, John.
DeMar DeRozan in Toronto. He averaged 27 a game.
I would lean John Wall.
I was gonna say it's definitely it's a close conversation. John Wall was one of the most athletic guards we've seen at the time.
What
though.
John Wall put up in 2016?
A double-double.
23 and 11.
He was fantastic.
And he's a lead defender.
Word.
POA
Probably go John
defender.
Wall.
They were top 3 seed in the East, right? They were 3.
Something like that. Probably top 4.
I think the Celtics were 2 and the Cavs were 1.
I'm going with John Wall.
Yeah,
too.
I'm going John Wall.
Kyrie Irving.
I would lean Kyrie.
In 2017, I would go Kyrie Irving. That year before, though, it was definitely a lot closer.
Yeah, I'm going Kyrie Irving as well. Paul George. He averaged 23.7 points per game that year in Indiana.
I'll go PG.
Yeah.
Very close.
That year, I'm going
Yes,
John Wall.
I agree
I'm
with
going
that.
Oh, you
John
going
Wall.
John Wall?
I agree
Mhm.
with that statement.
What about Jimmy Butler? 23.9 points per game.
So wait, let's cut all this shit out. So who's better, John Wall or Melo? You gonna tell me that year you was gonna go John Wall?
That year, John Wall was better than Melo.
I think I would probably still go Melo.
You got to talk a
That's
little
so
louder.
cap, bro.
I really can't hear you that well, Rev.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There we
I'm
go.
far.
Come on, bro. Your mic etiquette.
I think I would probably
My
still go
God.
Melo, but I get you.
John Wall had poor mic.
John Wall had a
edit.
Melo averaged 22 that year.
I'm not looking at it right now.
Yeah, Melo was not better than you. That was his last All-Star appearance.
I said I would still go Melo, but
Oh, John Wall that year?
I think
Come
I would
on,
still go
bro.
Melo.
John Wall was nuts, dude.
John Wall averaged 23
I don't
and
have to
11.
tell you that. You know that.
Nah, that year in New York was funny for Melo. It was a funny year.
Kemba Walker, he averaged 23.2 points per game.
I'm going John,
John
Wall.
Wall.
Yeah, I'm going John Wall too.
Do the John Wall.
John Wall
I'm gonna
averaged
have to give her a
10.7 assists per game that year. Yeah, I think if I were ranking the top
IG on the
players,
computer is crazy.
if I were ranking the top 5 players in the East at that time, I would go LeBron James, Isaiah Thomas that year. I'd go John Wall. No, my bad. My bad. Let me start over. Number 1, I'm going LeBron. Number 2, I'm going Kyrie Irving. Number 3, I'm going Isaiah. Number 4, I'm going John Wall. Number 5, I'd go Jimmy Butler. No, I'd go
What
Paul
the
George.
fuck are we
over-
doing here?
What do you mean? Why are you ranking Paul George so high that
Do
year?
you know who you're
You wasn't
talking
gonna name him in the 5. That's
He
what
made a
was-
mistake. He fixed it.
Bro,
Relax.
IT
Wait,
was
what
better
year?
than
What
Paul
year?
George.
What year?
2016, 17.
16, 17?
IT was better than Paul George that year.
I'm sorry. I was looking at 2015, 2016. I
Yes,
apologize.
IT was better than Paul George that year. Kyrie, I'm taking over Paul George that year. John Wall, I'm taking over Paul George that year. Then comes Paul George. Then I'd go Jimmy and DeRozan.
Okay.
I'd
Yeah,
go
I apologize.
Jimmy.
I was looking at 2015.
Did you just follow Zero?
Yes. You see it?
Yeah, no, yeah. It says
Like
followed by Rivio.
It's opened? Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm in there.
IG on the computer is nasty.
No, I'm undoubtedly in there.
That was Paul George's last year in Indiana when they lost 0-4 to Cleveland in the first round.
Pain. That was a painful series. They blew a
Yeah, it
16-point
was.
lead.
That was like
It was viral.
There was drama all that year for Indiana.
Yeah, pardon me. I was looking at the year before. I apologize.
So
No, I thought the 16-point lead was the year that LeBron was Dolo.
No, that was the year Kyrie and Kevin Love did.
that was the very next year when
Was
they
that 26?
played Boyan and Victor Oladipo.
Ah,
Yeah,
you're
17,
right.
18 season.
you're
That was the
right.
handicap Cavs team.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
Next topic, LeBron James.
Here we go.
He's nearing
LeBron James.
the all-time scoring leader list. He's about to be number 1.
The greatest of
Soon
all
he
time.
will be number 1.
Absolutely.
Now, is he the best scorer of all time? Because we know sometimes you can be number 1 or something, but you're not the best. Carmelo's number 3. I don't think we'd say he's the 3rd best scorer ever.
No way.
So is LeBron James the best scorer ever in NBA history?
Of course, you guys are looking at me because I'm the LeBron guy.
I'm just interested in your answer.
No, I think I would probably have LeBron James at 2. I have number 1 Kevin Durant, and I can explain that. You're mad at me for that? Or you're shocked
I
at me
want to
saying
hear.
that?
No, I'm shocked that you have
I told
LeBron
you this
over
already.
MJ as a scorer. I'm shocked. I'm very shocked.
I mean,
I
more
didn't
dominant.
expect Kevin Durant. He's more what?
he's a more dominant player.
How is he more?
We're talking about
dominant
scoring.
as a
We're talking about
scorer?
scoring.
In terms of getting to the basket, I'm taking LeBron James. Obviously,
That's it.
okay.
And that's
In
still
terms of
close.
mid range, obviously you go MJ. Post game, you
MJ.
probably go MJ. But again,
Free
It's-
throws.
it's
fine,
close.
MJ.
But the 3-point line definitely is a strong
Different
leaning
generations
towards.
too.
Regardless, though, you give it to LeBron.
No, you give it to
No-
LeBron.
no
I
doubt.
give it to LeBron. But yeah.
But in terms of getting to the basket, LeBron's up there with
Everyone.
Anyone ever to
So is
ever play
MJ.
the
MJ
game.
is also
no
good.
doubt. but
LeBron's
I
better
was-
though.
LeBron
because
is
he
better.
has the size. I give
So
you that.
you have mid range and free throw MJ, but 3-point and inside you go LeBron James. So if that's the case, I'm gonna take the more efficient shot, which is in the paint, near the paint, and I'm just gonna go with LeBron James. Also with the fact that he is a very solid 3-point shooter as well. But in terms of Kevin Durant,
Yeah, I want to hear that one because MJ is a better finisher, better mid-range shooter. So it's like that one, the 3-point percentage. I know it's the gap.
the free throw is very close.
It
It's
is close.
marginal.
I mean, everything you're nitpicking at this point.
No doubt about it. But in terms of 3-level scoring, at the size as well, which is my big reason why I have KD at 1. To be the size, to have the length that Kevin Durant has, and to score the way that he does, and the multiple facets that he does, to finish with both hands near the rim, to have the mid-range shooting that he does. Because let's be honest, who's a better mid-range shooter in your opinion, Kevin Durant or Michael Jordan?
Michael Jordan comfortably.
Comfortably?
Comfortably.
Comfortably is very rude to Kevin
Jordan.
Durant, dude.
It's
Like,
Michael
I understand,
Jordan.
no doubt about it, but the fact that Kevin Durant still is one of the most... No, but you're saying comfortably, yes.
but you
of
said
course,
rude.
'cause-
It's Michael
'cause-
Jordan.
No, you're saying, we're talking about the best player of all time. Absolutely.
Yeah, he's-
Michael deserves that credit. We're not
Michael
talking
Jordan
about,
is
but
the
we're talking...
greatest mid-range shooter of all time.
Okay, all right.
And I would put Kobe over KD too.
In terms of mid-range,
Yes.
the efficiency that Kevin Durant has shown from the mid-range has been crazy, and the multiple facets that he can score in the mid-range as well. His post-game is phenomenal. His three-point shooting is phenomenal.
His post game is good.
Phenomenal. I don't know about that.
Phenomenal is Michael Jordan and Kobe.
Okay, all right.
His post game is good.
He doesn't have
If you
the
guys
footwork of
are
those
going to work
guys.
on me with semantics, fine. I can level with you any which way you want to meet me there. But there's no way around it that you can't ignore the fact that Kevin Durant's size, the 3-level scoring that he does display as well, is better than anyone that's ever played the game.
For me, I don't think LeBron's the best scorer ever. I don't. I think Michael Jordan's the best scorer ever. He has the highest scoring points per game average. He's a 10-time scoring leader. Nobody that we're about to talk about is there with him. And I understand the 3-point shot isn't there, but he was
okay.
the greatest mid-range shooter ever. As a finisher, one of the greatest finishers at the basket
No doubt.
in NBA history. And if we're even talking about him as an offensive engine, there were times when they didn't run the triangle offense, the Bulls, they would just let Michael Jordan do what he does, and his numbers looked very similar to modern stars of today, where you're seeing 30 and 7
He
and
averaged
7.
37 points in that 86 season?
Then
86?
backed up with 35.
That was
Yeah.
insane.
He went
And-
37, 35, 33, 34, 32.
No,
30,
Michael was
33.
ridiculous.
And he was playing in an area that had less than ideal spacing. So I think that Michael Jordan, to me, is the greatest scorer ever.
Can't argue it. You know, I'm
Number
fine with
2, I'm going to take – this is very tough.
It's tough.
This is very tough. I'm
my
actually
best ever.
this is tough because offensively I'd lean another way. But if we're just talking about strictly scoring, I'm going Kevin Durant. I just think 4-time scoring leader. He can do everything outside of finish at the elite level that I guess Jordan or LeBron can. But everything about his offensive game is elite.
Damn near perfect.
I would go next, Kobe. I think Kobe
You didn't say Harden yet.
is number.
Where's
no.
LeBron?
He's not top 3. I don't think he's a better individual scorer than these guys, and I'm gonna get to that reasoning in a bit. Kobe
just has
didn't
the
have as many
volume.
scoring championships. He had only 2, but he's the best tough shot maker in NBA history. There's no other way around it. He copied and mimicked
LeBron?
Jordan. And what do you, LeBron? What?
LeBron's bro, the tough shots that LeBron be making are
Like
insane.
Kobe?
It's pretty comparable.
Kobe had the fuck you 3. Come on, man.
Bro, we literally
What
used to
is
say
the fuck
we
you
used
threw?
to
What do you mean? What is it?
Okay.
I can explain it very simple. LeBron just be dribbling. Suddenly he'll look at the ball.
I'm crying.
when we growing up, we would say Kobe. That's what we would say.
But that's not because it's a tough shot.
That's because we know he's automatic. That's Kobe Bryant. So I think Kobe as an all
Do we
around.
also want to count tough finishes near the basket? Because that's what I took into my account. Because in terms of
Kobe.
tough finish with LeBron,
Well, no. Well, Kobe was a highlight reel
And-
as well.
Oh, thank you for the word.
Yes,
I appreciate
know.
it as well. But in terms
Kobe,
of
Afro Kobe was dunking over everybody.
But think about how people egregiously foul LeBron, and he still finishes.
No, I understand that. I take that into account.
That's why I say in tough shots,
But
LeBron really. I do have to enter them in the conversation.
A post game footwork, Kobe's far more advanced than LeBron in that aspect, and he was somebody who mastered that from the mid range.
Yep.
Like he was just somebody that the art of scoring, he mastered it in a way that not people haven't done. He was Jordan, and then he was just
Jordan
coming
2.0.
to Jordan,
I'm with you.
basically.
Yeah, no, you're not saying anything correct.
I'm struggling with this fourth one because
My God.
the fourth one is Steph. I
thought I was going to be the one.
I
thought I was going to get
I
laughed
think
at.
Steph is the best shooter in the history of the NBA.
Wait. You didn't say LeBron yet?
Nah,
That's
he
what
hasn't.
I'm
He hasn't.
saying.
He hasn't.
Oh.
What do you think?
Kobe
Steph's a better
Bryant and
scorer than
Steph
LeBron?
Curry over LeBron.
Oh, that's tough. Keep going with your
No,
list.
Kobe
I like
Bryant
your
as a
list.
scorer is over LeBron.
Your list is
But
fire.
you-
I
but
like
you
your
know
list. It's some
This is the reason why. The reason why I have LeBron behind these guys, and these are modern players I've seen all these guys play, is his point per game average, is up there with some of the best. It's not as high as Jordan or KD's, though, his point per game average for his career. And Kobe's would have been higher had he not rode the bench to begin his career.
Yeah.
If he had played, it would be higher as well. LeBron's only a one-time scoring leader, and although we see the offensive package
Curious at your
LeBron
list.
has right now, and I think LeBron at his best in terms of offensively, where he wasn't as dominant as his most athletic days was in Cleveland, he was great all around offensively.
Can you repeat that statement for me? I'm sorry.
When he was in Cleveland,
Okay.
I thought that the way he developed, where
First
he
thing.
had to rely less on his athleticism versus his Miami days and Cleveland days. You can see the
So
offensive
second stint.
improvement. Yes, you
Got
can
it.
see the offensive improvement he made with LeBron James. He has developed offensively throughout his career, and there has been at his peak moments where, offensively, scoring wise, most dominant ever. There's a reason he's the GOAT.
Never averaged
But
less than 25.
In the
except for his
07
rookie season.
finals, I feel like there are moments in LeBron James' history where you were able to exploit him because of his weaknesses as a scorer, where I don't think you can say the same for Jordan or Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant was exploited as a playmaker. So offensively, LeBron James is definitely one or two all time. There's no doubt. But just strictly talking as a scorer, in 07, they forced him to shoot outside shots. He was unable to. He was very inefficient. In the 2011 finals, he didn't have a post game. And that finals, him not playing well that finals, made him develop a game in the post. And after that, he was developing that great. Yeah, and he was great. LeBron James has had to continuously improve, but throughout his career, there have been moments where, you can force him to shoot and you're comfortable with that shot. Oh, from the post, he can't play as well. So there were ways to exploit his limitations as a scorer, where these other stars, I didn't see that happen as often with them as scorers.
I'm interested.
Ahead,
I'm really interested in your list.
I didn't have a list. I'll be
Who
honest.
do you think's the GOAT scorer?
I have Jordan. I do have Jordan. I think LeBron is top 3 at a minimum, but this topic's hard because we're doing just scoring, and LeBron is just so much more than just a scorer.
He's the greatest
right?
offensive
Like
player ever.
I understand that the question is made to start controversy and to have these type of debates, because you could have the arguments for Steph, for Kobe, and all of these guys, but at the end of the day, it's like, scoring is important, sure, but like I want the guy who's the best offensive player. Like I don't really like scoring. Obviously, LeBron's going to give you 27, 28, and you see when he tries to, he could average 30.
If he wanted to in Miami, he could average 40.
Jaylen Brown fan, by the way. Jaylen Brown fan.
What does
Doesn't
that
have
do
to
with
do with
anything? What does that do with
best
anything?
offensive player. I don't care about
Are
scoring. Listen,
okay. Am I saying Jaylen Brown's going to be the number one in a championship team?
hey buddy, check
No.
this out. Congrats, you have Jordan at 1.
I have Jordan at 1. Yeah, I didn't have a
LeBron-
full-fledged
yeah.
list because it wasn't
Well,
the question.
what if you had to
Can I
place
ask you a
LeBron?
question? 2, 3, 4,
He'd probably be 3.
3. Who's
Yeah,
two?
I'd probably put
KD?
KD 2, and just because I know he's a for sure 3-level scorer, and even
I'd love to
MJ's
know what I
not
said
3,
wrong.
but it's just because the
No,
era.
I'm interested. Let's have a dialogue.
Based off my question, is gonna make me determine which route I'm gonna take.
Let's have it.
Are you putting LeBron at 1 because he's about to break the all-time scoring record?
Well-
Because I've never heard you say LeBron is the number 1 scorer. I've heard you say
Yes, correct.
LeBron is all around, but MJ is
Correct.
the GOAT scorer. So I'm asking you.
No,
Joe, I've heard you say it
never said
before.
no.
So I'm asking you.
No, what I said before was Kevin Durant.
Okay. So are you putting LeBron at 2 because he's about to You put LeBron over MJ because he's about to break the scoring time.
No.
So when did you start
I have
putting
LeBron as, well, I've always had LeBron too.
scoring
Scoring.
over MJ?
Yes. I've just said this to you now.
Okay.
Am I crazy for saying Steph is the most efficient scorer ever?
No, he's literally
No,
the
he
most
is.
efficient
Efficient,
scorer
yeah.
ever. Yeah.
Why are people clowning you here?
No. I answered back to a comment, and then somebody said
said
stop.
Kareem.
Somebody said stop it when
Well-
I said Steph is the most efficient scorer
Yeah,
ever.
we're naming big. Come on, let's be serious. For me, I have MJ. I don't like the argument. We can talk about the scoring titles.
Because the argument I gave you, you had very little pushback.
No, yeah.
Right?
If you're
Like-
talking about like pound for pound, who's more versatile? I think both of them are as versatile as it get. But I think just putting the ball in a bucket, who can do it at a better rate? MJ. In a system, not in a system, with the ball in his hands, with the ball out of his hands, the triangle tends to move you around. MJ just can do it at any rate. And then you talking about the playoff scoring. We didn't even talk about that. When you talk about what MJ does in a playoff series,
He averages the most in playoffs.
yeah, he rocks off 40-point. Like he's a bona fide scorer. So for me, I have MJ scoring. He's damn near perfect at scoring. Hit the 3-point percentage is okay. But in terms of mid-range, finishing at the basket, finishing over taller defenders, his post game, the way he can, his footwork, he's just a perfect scorer. For me at 2, I battle between Kevin Durant and LeBron because Kevin Durant's efficiency is ridiculous. The size I understand, but I think size is overrated to a degree because if you're a 6'6" and you can do things better than the bigger guys. I don't think, like, for example, MJ can finish literally better than a 7-foot Kevin Durant. I don't really take it to the size into account because MJ is a better post-up player than Kevin Durant. He's literally a better mid-range shooter. He's a better finisher, and Kevin Durant has about 5-6 inches on him. So, for me, I have LeBron at 2. I definitely will put LeBron at 2. I think he's more dominant than LeBron. I mean, more dominant than Kevin Durant. 3 for me would be Kevin Durant. 4 would be Kobe. And I got Steph at 5.
That's a fine
list. That's valid.
I think Steph
list.
is at 5.
I would love your list if LeBron was higher than Steph and
Yeah,
and
where'd
Kobe. That's
LeBron
it.
end up?
I
5?
know Kobe's a better scorer than LeBron.
LeBron
I
ended
don't
up
see
5
I
on
don't
your
see
list?
nothing wrong with that.
No, I like your 5 players. Absolutely. I'm just
the
trying.
order of
If
them.
I want to be, nitpick, I just want to move LeBron up for obvious reasons.
I think Kobe over Bron is okay.
So none
If
of
you-
us
if
had
you-
Bron
listen,
1.
As a score.
Again,
None of us had Bron 1.
I think you can't put
No,
Bron
you
at
had
1.
you had KD.
I have him
1.
too.
Yeah.
I have him too.
Yeah, you can't put Bron at 1. I think putting
You have
KD at 1 is
KD over
crazy.
1.
I have KD 1.
KD at 1 is nuts.
I'm gonna be honest. I think that there's a legit argument for Steph being a better scorer than KD. There is.
But you have KD too on your list, don't
No,
you?
I know, but I mean, we're splitting hairs between these
No,
players.
listen, Curry, of course. That is
Actually,
I
first
even
and
think
foremost.
when you take into account playmaking and gravity, Steph Curry might be the best
the
offensive engine we've ever
thing
seen.
that gets me is, of course, you have the efficiency with Curry. KD has the efficiency as well.
Not like Curry though.
Not like Curry, obviously.
I don't see the argument for KD at 1.
Okay, to be the size that he is, to be as
But he
efficient
can't
as
do
he is.
what MJ and LeBron can do at a scoring rate. He can't.
What do you mean?
As tall as he is, as efficient as he is, he cannot dominate a game at a scoring level that MJ and LeBron can. He can't.
I disagree
Definitely,
with that, though.
definitely MJ. MJ is putting up 40 to 45
Scoring?
points. Yeah, we're just talking about scoring
Okay,
here.
just look at Game 7 against Milwaukee, where it was basically
Did you
him
see-
versus the Milwaukee
Did you see
Bucks.
MJ in a series?
No, I'm not.
You're talking about one game. We're talking
no,
about-
that was a series.
No, you talking about Game 7 where he had the 45-point explosion.
Well, that's-
MJ
I'm
did
just-
that
that's-
for
no, okay,
in
so
5 to
did
6
Kevin
games.
Durant.
Kevin Durant has never had
in that
40
Milwaukee,
in a series.
no, in a series, no.
That's what I'm talking about. Like what
I
Kevin
think
Durant does.
mentality matters too.
what-
KD is somebody that'll get his buckets and he'll stop shooting after like 25 shots. I feel like
I mean, he
MJ
averaged 35 in the finals.
shots. No, I'm talking
No,
about
no,
shots.
I'm
like
talking
shot attempts.
points.
Like
KD averaged 35.
You
in
look.
the
You
finals.
look back in OKC. Russell Westbrook was taking more shots than him. So I think
Absolutely nutty.
mentality matters a lot when you're that dominant
Yeah,
scorer.
so in
Go for
limited
50.
attempts, he still was averaging 30.
Oh yeah, I know, but
Like that is fucking nuts.
no, there's no doubt. I mean, KD is one of the best.
no,
scorers
definitely.
Ever.
See, this is why it's so weird to have this conversation. It's like you
Limited
pick one
attempts?
side, it sounds like no, not limited attempts, but to have less attempts than
I think they all average the same attempts. I'll be honest. I just
So
think Kevin Durant just takes more threes than.
and his efficiency from 3 is nuts.
But not Curry.
So for their career,
No one.
best ever.
Why are we doing this?
because
So then
that's
put
what the
Curry in the
argument-
second
Curry
best.
at 1.
Yeah,
Or put
exactly.
Curry
Why
1
not?
then.
okay. So for
I
the
didn't. I don't think I had Curry.
yeah, Curry at 4.
No, you
Yeah,
have no.
you're
I'm
talking
saying
Curry
put
about
Curry
number
2.
one, then put him at
no,
1,
no,
bro.
he's
I
you
mean, I
have
have no
Michael
problem
1.
with that.
So
I just
then-
like
What's the point of arguing?
One-on-one scoring, I favor KD. Like just one-on-one scoring.
I agree with
Yes.
that.
That's
Like,
because
because
You
just-
have a 6'10", 6'11" guy who can do the things that Kevin Durant can do, can dribble the basketball the way
Yes.
that he can, and finish the way that he can.
fast. Yes.
I mean, to be the 3-level scorer, you are at 6'10".
It's a very small gap.
It's
though.
insane. No, I'm with you.
Yeah, all
these
these guys
guys.
are incredibly small gaps.
You just said it clears.
Who?
You.
No, I did not.
Now I'm playing with you.
So MJ versus Kevin Durant, field goal attempts, and I used their peak years. Michael Jordan's at 23, Kevin Durant was at 19, but the 3-point attempts, Kevin Durant's at 5, MJ was at 2.
I mean, obviously,
it's about the
difference.
same.
And then the free throws attempts are the same, pretty much.
So they
MJ
think
was
about
at
the same
9.
shot.
What's the
Kevin
EFG?
Durant's at 8.
Is there? You have EFG here?
Kevin Durant has the highest effective field goal percentage
Durant's
of
at
everyone
56.
over 25,000 points.
Michael Jordan's at 51.
Yeah, Steph is not. He has 20,000 right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Say
they're around the same.
No, Steph deserves to be in the best scorer conversation of all time. He definitely needs to be in this conversation.
Offensively, he's the best offensive engine ever.
engine. I mean, such a weird wording. Is Steph Curry the best offensive player in NBA history?
It's arguable. Yeah.
You could argue that. I would
You're
take
not
LeBron. Are you going to argue with me there?
I can make a real case for why Steph is over LeBron as an offensive engine.
And I can easily make the case that LeBron's a better offensive engine than Curry. But
You're gonna say
if you
the
fit
Lakers.
it, if you fit it to one
exactly.
style, LeBron, there's one style you have to fit it to. I think Steph can be in a Mike D'Antoni-esque system, put up inflated numbers, but then he could also play an off-ball role, and that makes everybody else better. So Steph Curry, you could play him in different ways, and that's why I say offensive engine, because he could be an engine in any type of car, and it's gonna go. LeBron James, it's a specific one.
LeBron has shown you that
It's a
he's
specific one. It's the best, no doubt.
because he's
No, it works.
Because you say different. You're
works.
saying Curry does it in different facets, no doubt. But LeBron has gone to
saying-
different locations, and each location he's gone.
It's been the same
fit
play
the same,
style.
but they-
though.
Exactly.
It's the
No,
same
that's
system.
why I'm not disagreeing with
Yeah.
you.
Curry
In terms
can
of
fit in any offense.
and LeBron has brought his offense to three different locations.
Whatever team
No,
he
that's
goes
what
to,
I'm
he's
saying.
the
One.
offense.
Is
He's
that
the difference.
LeBron is the offense where Steph, he can be the offense, but in
He just
multiple
fit in
different
it.
ways.
Yeah.
LeBron can't be an offensive guy off the ball. That's just never going to
You
happen.
never would want him off ball.
Yeah, but Steph
You never
can.
want Steph off ball either, but he can just.
Nah, but that's
good.
different because he's the best shooter of all time. And the whole way why he plays off ball is because you're trying to screen him for space. And he allows you that luxury. And that's because Steph Curry is amazing, but he allows you that luxury because of how fit he is. And his cardio is arguably the best that we've ever seen. This dude just runs around the court
Ray
until he gets
Allen-esque type
no, it's
shit.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
but they were
I
able to
understand
do
where
that
you're coming
system
from.
because of Steph.
Oh,
I just think
no, that is 100%
like
the
I feel
only
like
thing to say.
I feel like if there was actually a measurement for assists in the way of doubling a shooter and just how many defenders rotate over to Steph because they're so worried about a shot, and how many of those are assists that aren't directly by him, we probably
But you could say the same shit for when LeBron drives to the basket, all five collapse to the paint, and he kicks out. Like, that's just what – it's different ways you look at it. I don't disagree what you're saying, not even a little bit, because I'm with you. The double teams that he faces is crazy in a different way that LeBron does. Because when LeBron drives to the basket, it's not a one-on-one, it's not a two-on-one. It's you have your basically everyone crashing on LeBron because he's so great of a finisher that when he kicks, which he made a career of, he kicks, that's him creating for others as well.
The difference is that they're doubling LeBron at like the free throw line where they're doubling Steph at half court.
But like I said, they're crashing. All these guys are crashing where we've seen four guys crash in the middle of the paint because the whole point is to stop LeBron.
No, there's no doubt.
Warriors up 20 on the Cavs.
What the fuck? Really?
How much does
I
DiVincenzo have?
13. Kaminga's got 10. Kaminga's got 10, 4,
He's
and
back.
3.
My
He's
God
starting.
is back. Come bucket is back. Kevin Durant in the playoff runs, he averaged over 30 because I rounded it. I don't feel like doing the point shit.
Yeah.
He averaged over 30 4 times. MJ did it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12 times.
God damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jordan's kind of.
But also at the same time, no, Jordan is unbelievable.
Yeah.
But that was his job. Go score the basketball.
Kevin Durant's job is
no
also
doubt. But he was just full. Kevin Durant put himself in this position where he just had scorers next to him, left and right, basically his entire career.
I've just never seen MJ collapse because of
No,
the
you're right.
game
You're
plan.
right.
Like,
Listen,
Yeah.
if you want to
and
have
LeBron, there's been moments like that.
oh shit, I was talking about Kevin Durant, but
I mean,
As a
but you're
scorer,
not. You're not. I mean,
Yeah.
there's
Like,
been
I've-
2 times ever. One time really highlighted,
well, LeBron.
and yeah,
Oh yes.
one time.
Yes. I agree. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I think those are the 5. You know.
Yeah, facts.
I think you know, I think you can argue Harden there seriously as one of the greatest scorers ever. You know, as much as I hate him,
it's to get into the free throw line that really is.
I think you could.
When's Luka gonna get in there?
It depends on how he's evolves his game. I don't think.
God damn.
Because I think, it just depends on how he evolves his game. I think you could make a
see
serious
his evolution going.
if he becomes more efficient. If he becomes a little bit better off ball.
I only had a problem because Drew said LeBron cleared everybody. That's where
I
my
think
issue
you
came.
can make an argument for Shaq. I'm not gonna lie.
No, he's just being a
I
bastard.
think you can make an argument for Shaq at 5. I think you can make a serious argument. If you talk about dominance, I think you can make an argument for
Over
Shaq
Kareem?
at 5. In terms of just scoring, I would put Shaq over Kareem.
What about
Like
Wilt?
peak value.
What about Wilt, bro?
I don't count. I don't like.
So
I don't,
stupid.
I don't talk about that era. It's very different.
Hate you for
This week in the NBA.
My this week in the NBA, I spoke about it a little bit.
You're up 20. What's the quarter?
Third quarter.
We'll blow it.
Yeah. Well, my this week in the NBA, Anthony Davis is scheduled to return very soon. So soon that it ironically might be against the Boston Celtics January 28th. He's starting to ramp up. Anthony Davis, we've seen him a little bit in practice, but now he's going to start to get it going a little bit hotter. This is unbelievable news because every game it seems that we've played since AD's been gone, it has been a tight game right to the very end, and we just don't have enough to come out with the win. Now that we get Anthony Davis back, it allows us to have that luxury of that 28 per game that he was giving us on top of the all-NBA defense, arguably the best defensive player in the NBA. We get him back into the mix. Now things start to get exciting. So now I am. If you thought I was annoying when AD was out, wait till he's back and I'm really getting going.
If Drew's annoying as the 13 seed in the
Correct.
West, just imagine if they get up to like the 8 seed.
Well, for me,
Relentless.
this correlates. Steph Curry tops LeBron again in jersey sales for the 3rd time in a row. Just making it even
He's
more.
clear.
Is he
Yeah,
number
he
one?
just, yeah, he's like, yeah,
And LeBron's number
yeah,
two.
He
I
no,
just got ordered me one.
yeah, he just makes it more known that he is the face of the league,
John,
the baby face.
Thanks for the follow back.
He just followed you.
No, the wise guys just followed me.
Oh, I didn't get one yet.
Yeah.
Yo, what's up?
Oh, okay.
You ever gonna give me one? I've been waiting. Yeah, okay. But this was something I also wanted to talk about what Jeff Van Gundy said the other day. This was very interesting. He said Steph Curry might be the MVP of the last decade, and I thought it was interesting because I feel like he worded it wrong. I think LeBron has been.
Statement.
I think LeBron has been the best
Got more
player comfortably,
championships.
but I think in terms
he
of
doesn't.
value to the,
He doesn't.
Steph,
they have the same amount.
No, exactly. So he doesn't.
in the last decade, they had more
All right.
championships.
Do you know the last decade? So
I think
You're
yeah,
such a-
he
you're such a-
2023 just got you.
He just got you.
bitch.
I think Jeff Van Gundy could have worded it a little bit
Kid
better.
bastard.
That was smooth. Yeah, that was smooth. That was smooth. He caught me for a little bit because I was like, wait, LeBron. He caught me for a little bit.
Fuck 2023.
I think Jeff Van Gundy could have worried a little bit because I think when you talk about value to the league in terms of just upraising a franchise's money, their worth, what Steph has done for the Golden State Warriors is he's turned them into like a $5 billion organization. So in terms of value, what he's done for merchandise to sales, I think him and LeBron are comfortably been the top 2 guys in terms of just value to the league, what they bring to TV ratings and stuff like that. But I think just people took it a little wrong way. He could have worded it a little better because LeBron has been the best player for the past 10 years. But in terms of value to the league, I think they're about the same. Right? They both bring the same amount of money. They both bring in a ton of ratings.
You know, if Steph Curry was so much more valuable, you know, he would definitely be leading the All-Star votes.
He's leading the sales. That's
What
money.
about the All-Star votes?
That's money.
But fans are voting.
That's not money.
Who do they want to see more?
This brings in money.
They want to see LeBron.
Whose franchise is worth $1 billion?
The Lakers?
That's not because of LeBron. Whose franchise is worth $1 billion because of them?
Okay, that's a different statement.
That's part of value.
That's not really fair.
That's a part of. It's my fault. He keeps leaving.
No, but the Lakers are the fucking Lakers. The Warriors.
Or how
before
about the
Steph Curry
Cavaliers?
did not have the history.
No,
You know the Warriors-
No, this is
whoa,
fine. This
whoa,
is
whoa,
fine.
what
This
are
is
we
fine.
doing here?
No, how about Cleveland, right?
Cleveland's
Because
not worth $1
if you
billion.
know- They probably are worth $1
The
billion.
Cavs. The Cavs are
one is
easily
in
worth $1 billion.
California, one is in Cleveland. You know.
You know the
The Cavs are definitely worth
No,
$1 billion.
no,
Every
no,
NBA
this
team's
is how
worth
you
$1
can
billion.
exactly.
Every
No,
NBA
no,
team.
no.
Look it up.
Every
Look it up. Look it up.
franchise.
Look it up.
What you can say is Golden State is worth more for sure.
Because
But
who?
but you want to ride on this statement? Sure, let's ride on it. You know they're $1 billion. Look what LeBron made the Cavaliers.
What did you make of the Cavaliers?
The Cavaliers were a poverty franchise for decades.
What was Golden
And
State
what-
before Steph?
I mean,
Answer.
They have a history,
Answer.
don't they?
Answer.
Don't they have
What
a
were they?
championship?
Where were they?
In their history, they
Wait,
have a
what year? Do you
championship.
even remember
correct?
the year they
Oh
won?
no, that was when Will
So
So
Chamberlain
they were
was around.
poverty before Steph.
but they
Steph
have a
got
championship,
drafted.
right?
But they were poverty.
But answer me.
But they were poverty.
Answer me.
But they were poverty.
Can you answer me?
But they were
Are
poverty.
you gonna fucking answer me?
They were poverty.
They had
bro.
a chip.
in the 60s.
Cleveland didn't have a championship.
Yo,
since
you're really gonna
in the
milk that
50s.
60s chip.
Yeah, that's hey, it's a championship in the
Word.
NBA.
Okay, all right. I'm just talking about value, bro.
How about the city of Cleveland? That's a whole different conversation. Which is
The
why
city-
him making Cleveland what it is way more impressive than
He built
Curry
a
making.
school there.
No, the school is impressive. I
The
just said.
city of Cleveland had witnessed a
So Steph hasn't been just as
this-
valuable.
This again. Let me give you a little history lesson on sports, King. You have to understand the,
Rose said, "Let me
the
stun you real quick."
distress
Damn.
that Cleveland went through as a sports fan, right? You have the Cleveland Browns with the drive when John Elway goes 98 yards down the field to ruin their hopes of going to the Super Bowl. You have
This
to
has
understand.
nothing
No.
to do with
Yeah, it doesn't. I'm sorry, it does not.
You're not going.
Well, if you
anywhere
guys
with it.
really want to be casual sports fans, you guys can be casual
We're
sports
talking about
fans.
the NBA.
But that's why LeBron bringing a title to Cleveland is so much more impactful.
You're talking about the value
But
of
look,
in terms of the
exactly.
value of the NBA.
No,
What both
and look
players
what he made to
what both players
Cleveland.
have done for younger kids in the next generation. What both players have made for the NBA.
Exactly.
You cannot sit here and tell me Steph is not up there in terms of
No,
value.
he
You
is up
can't.
there.
That's all I said.
No, you're
You
saying
took
he's
it-
more than LeBron.
No, you took it. That's
No,
literally all I said. I said in
no,
terms
no.
of value.
You can
they're
fool these
up
other
there
guys.
with-
You're not going to fool
That's
me.
literally what I
You
said.
can fool these other guys.
I
You
said in
can't fool
terms
me.
of value,
No,
they're
that's not what
up
you
there
did.
with each other. They're the
That's
two
not what
most
you said.
valuable players
Simply
we
not
have
what you
right
But
now.
you started with Steph has more jersey sales than LeBron. That's
you
how
were
it started.
chatting.
I said that was
So don't do
that's a
this.
lie.
And
Don't
then,
lie.
and then you said the votes. You went back and forth. And
No,
then you guys
he
somehow
brought up
got
the-
it.
I didn't even talk about the All-Star
and then
game.
you brought
You
up the
brought
$1
up
billion.
the All-Star-
Stop it.
Yo, this
You're
is
not
nuts.
arguing
I
with
said-
someone else. You're arguing with me.
You said
Okay.
that like I don't win all the time.
That's
when
why
say
I'm
that.
trying to have you understand. You're talking to me. I listen when you speak. Okay,
Bro, you took it. Okay.
All
Okay.
right.
Let me apologize.
They're
You
saying
took
stop
it. You
letting
took
Riff
it.
cook.
You took it in a different way. All I was saying is Jeff Van Gundy could have worded himself right.
Okay, yes.
There-
Go back to your original point.
That's
I'm
what.
done.
That's all I said because those two are the most
They
valuable
are.
players we've had in the last 10, 12 years. That's all I was saying. I wasn't trying to make it a comparison. You brought up that
You
bum ass
started-
All-Sar game.
and you
Talking
started-
about who has the most votes
because you
I don't
started with the
care.
bullshit with the jersey sales. So I don't want to fucking hear it.
because Steph is beating him. You're upset.
See, okay,
that
there you
hurts
go.
you.
And LeBron's beating and
In
Curry
the
in the
All-Star
All-Star votes.
voting. This is money.
Post. What are we doing?
What
here?
do you?
We gonna let this go forever?
You know what? I apologize for
Thank
disrespecting
you.
your
Thank
goal.
you.
I
Thank you.
apologize.
Oh my God.
I apologize.
This week in the NBA, the Nets are stinking right now without Kevin Durant. They are 0-4, 30th in offensive rating, 26th at field goal percentage, 28th in three-point percentage, 28th from the free throw line, have fallen from second to fourth in the East. It doesn't get easier because their next three games at the Jazz, at the Warriors, at the Sixers. After that, got the Pistons, but then the Knicks, Lakers, Celtics. It's going to be a rough stretch here for the Nets. We might have got that wrong. I think we were all expecting them to play around 500 basketball, and they've turned into, let's be honest, one of the worst offensive teams in the league. KD will get back. They'll
How you feel
get
about
on their
that,
feet,
folks?
but four-game losing streaks, rough.
I just think
Started with the Celtics.
think that
Yeah, nothing
Dehls
there.
has 2 shows in a row now proved why he's the real Mr. Flip Aside. I mean, goddamn, how overreacting a little bit.
Is he
It's been-
taking your title?
It's been 3-4 games, and
4 games.
one game Kyrie did not play.
Their next three are at the Jazz, Warriors, and Sixers. How many are they going to win? It'll be 7 else in a row, possibly.
You think so? You went to bank on that?
I mean, they could win
I
one.
think I still stand on what I said with this team. I like the depth on this team a lot. I do.
They're getting
Kyrie's
cold, man. I get it. They're getting
Kyrie's
cold.
been in there shooting stuff, and I'm gonna go back to what you said earlier this season, when I was hyping up the Nets. You were like, when the Nets go through this slump that's gonna eventually hit, how are you gonna react to it, right? And I'm chilling.
I like that.
I
I'm
know
glad.
what's gonna happen, but you see, Dehls, instead of hating on the Nets all year long, you went from hating on the Nets to saying, you know what, yeah, the Nets are contenders, to now with no KD, we
I
might
said-
have been wrong
I
about
said-
this team.
No, I said with KD out, we all said they play 500 basketball. I think we're wrong about that.
I think
Might
they
play
can
worse.
still play 500 basketball.
They're cooked because the schedule only gets harder.
It's
Hey,
tough.
you guess where they
Bullshit.
come? Guess where they coming on Sunday?
Did you not hear me?
I did, but
In
I
LA.
got to.
Oh yeah,
no,
I understand.
Forget about that.
I understand the schedule,
play us
but
the
no,
I'm
they
not
come.
worried.
They're coming to the best home team in the league.
Oh, they're going
buddy.
to the Chase Center?
Oh, they will be.
Uh-oh.
They're at the
And
Jazz.
Sunday.
that would be
Uh-oh.
an amazing game to make a statement, Riv.
That's the wrong game because
Gotta make it
nobody
an
beats
amazing
nobody
game.
beats Golden State and
I mean,
Chase.
you
I'll be
could have
honest
made a
with you.
statement against any team that you played easily. If you go 4-0,
back-to-back
since
L's
KD
to
leaves.
the 3 L's to the Thunder, Spurs, and
You mean
Suns.
the Thunder that beat y'all by 50?
We've
That's
won,
actually not the same team.
We've won 17 of our last 19.
I think they when they beat Boston, they was missing everybody.
They had no SGA.
No,
We
they had
bounced
nobody.
back though. We've won 17 of our last 19.
So can the Nets
Really?
be allowed to bounce back?
Well,
so you're off the Nets, no
they lost
contenders,
against
right?
the Spurs and the Suns. Those are two of the worst basketball teams
Nets
right
no
now.
contenders no more, right?
No, not that. I'm just saying we might have been wrong about our take with with the Nets without Kevin Durant. That's all I'm saying.
Stop manipulating,
He's
man.
trying
I see
it.
it.
He's trying.
I see it happening.
No, I'm good.
You're
But Kevin
manipulating.
Durant back is a good team. Don't get me wrong.
Hey, you got to be careful, Mr.
Oh,
Flipasage.
if
You
we're
know
being
what?
honest, I'm just holding us here accountable
Agreed.
at the table.
Agreed.
We all said they play 500 basketball.
I'm
They're
not
up
ready
to
to
0-4
hold
starts.
myself accountable over that take.
Okay.
I think
we-
they
oh,
can
no,
turn it
I
around.
held myself accountable. I tweeted it very clearly. The Nets are a lottery team without KD.
That was like last night.
When
Exactly.
Kyrie Irving's going to go back to playing how he normally plays, and we'll see this team for real. I believe
I agree.
that. And I think it starts tonight against Utah.
Okay.
I think they win tonight against Utah, actually.
I mean,
Be a
they
big
should,
game.
right?
Yeah.
Should they?
But I don't think they will.
Why should they?
No, I mean, they're the Nets, right?
Now, for me, I have 3 this week in the NBAs. Actually, yeah, I have 3.
Fuck, are we surprised? I can't wait for the one. I have 10 this week.
Don't. You just argued about something pointless for like 10 minutes.
guys
Again,
are the
I'm going
best.
to have to dap you again, son of a bitch.
We did. We did.
Tony Parker went to Charlotte because DeJounte took his spot.
I'm glad you mentioned that.
I was kind of surprised that happened. I always wondered why Tony Parker left San Antonio, and DeJounte Murray clarified it. He basically said, I took Tony Parker's spot, and Tony
Sean
Parker
Jack-
was mad about it and
Steven
left.
Jackson put the exclamation on that shit. It was like, Tony Parker is selfish.
Most selfish player ever played.
And
with.
that made me think about it and how Tony Parker, it's crazy to think of him as a selfish player. Maybe he's not. Maybe Steven Jackson and
quiet,
DeJounte just don't like
soft-spoken.
him. But it's crazy how much winning can kind of remove any perceptions that you have of any player, because Tony Parker, if you ask anybody, he's the ultimate team player because he won championships. But there are guys that view him as very selfish, and it is what it is. But I thought that was interesting. Jalen Brunson has dropped 25-plus points in 8 straight games, the longest streak by a Knicks guard since 1965. 99th percentile in isolation efficiency, 94th in scoring gravity, 40% on catch-and-shoot threes, and 39% on pull-up threes.
Gazooks.
I mean, listen, Jalen Brunson has proven me right.
He's a stud.
As simple as that.
I love him.
He's the man. He's the man in New York. He's a star point guard. I remember in the offseason, we had Through the Wire here, and when I called Jalen Brunson a star, he's a star.
As the Knicks fan
Let's
of
get
the
it.
show, I'm really glad that Joel did mention Jalen Brunson and the unbelievable run that he's been on. He's been unbelievable, should be an all-star. It's unfortunate that the fans haven't rallied. As the Knicks guy, I want everyone that's listening right now, stop what you're doing. Stop watching Pick a Side. Go vote for Jalen Brunson. It's that urgent of a matter. Thank you very much.
I just got a tweet from my burner account.
Here we go.
That was flipping on a live in 4K. The real Mr. Flip Aside.
He's in here.
he's been on my ass, bro.
Nah, you really do be. And last one, Najee Marshall. I want to show him some love.
There we
One of the
go.
more underrated players in the league. Last 8 games,
Love my
averaging 18
Pelicans,
points
man.
per game, 5
Fucking these guys
rebounds,
just get him from
3
anywhere.
assists, and he's been very efficient. This is a guy that is one of those heart and soul guys, and since BI and Zion had been out, he's stepped up for sure. He's really stepped up. Reading the super chat from Kyle Basil, $4.99. Next year, when Chet returns to the Thunder and they draft another young player, do y'all think they can make a Kings-type jump?
Kings type jump. Interesting. I need to see Chet Holmgren and how he comes back. I mean, if he comes back and he's who everyone expected, because people had Chet Holmgren in that conversation of being a generational guy, and if he's that, then for sure I can see them making a playoff leap.
So, Riv, the Warriors have lost to the Suns, Magic, and Pistons at home.
Oh, you seen that shit? Yeah, I know. Those are anomalies. I'm actually arguing with somebody about it right now. They have like 18 wins at home, bro.
I think OKC can make a pretty good jump, a
the
sizable
question?
jump.
For sure.
If
they can
Chet
make a Kings
Holmgren
type-
comes
Kings type
back,
jump
can they
with
make
Chet.
a Kings type jump?
It
I
would
said
make
depends
it
on
would,
Chet.
It would make the Chet and who they bring in the offseason. There's a lot of good role players coming in this free agency class.
Let Pascal come to OKC.
I don't want him there.
Why?
I don't think he fits the timeline.
Why do you say that? I
wouldn't want to pay him.
But who else are you paying? It's going to be SGA and him.
I'm cool. I think they could wait.
I mean, what would he make? 160, 160 mil?
For what? 3 years?
Pascal, whatever the no.
Pascal? He might make 40.
That's what no, it's going to be 40 a year. Yes, but I'm saying like in total.
Well, he's
Like the
30.
max
Jeremiah
contract to
has,
leave is like around like
going
150,
23.
160.
He's getting 4.
Daniel
He's
Jeremiah
getting 4 years.
dropped his first mock.
I was going to say it might be a 160 type contract.
160 is like, I don't know.
Now I'm gonna get into this other super chat
I
from
just don't think it
Alfredo.
fits his timeline.
Alfredo DeCuna.
Alfredo.
They need a vet. They don't have any.
Love you guys so much. Keep doing what you're doing. Been going through a bad breakup, and you guys helped me cope with my emotions. Shout out Riv Academy.
Shout out Riv Academy is right. Glad we could be here for you, bro.
Shout out to Alfredo,
Yeah.
man.
Hopefully everything gets better. You feel better, bro.
Sir.
On to the last topic of the show. Nikola Jokic.
Nicola.
Is he on pace to win 3 straight MVPs? You know, he's been playing amazing basketball recently. And I think some people have kind of been trying to suppress him from getting it because he's already a
Really?
2-time MVP.
Mm.
I see some
Really?
I see some arguments out there for it. And quite frankly, he's been number 1 in my MVP ladder for a while.
For sure.
I saw a take on TikTok. I don't remember who's it's from, but he was saying Nikola Jokic, you know, he's playing amazing. But when are we going to start demanding playoff success from him like we demanded from other superstars like Jason Tatum, like Joel Embiid? And for me, that take it's kind of poor because Nikola Jokic's best players have been injured for the last 2 years. And I think people are expecting the Nuggets to make some noise in the playoffs this
Your
year.
team.
I have them going to the finals. And another reason why Nikola Jokic doesn't have this pressure is because when he goes to the playoffs, he performs.
Correct.
He does his job.
He at least has made it to a Western Conference Finals.
Yes.
Embiid can't say that.
Jokic, 6 30-point triple-doubles this season. And just to list off the stuff Jokic is number 1 in or even at the top of the league in,
We don't have enough time for this. but
Nikola
go ahead.
Jokic is easily the MVP right now.
Definitely.
It's not about should he be a 3-time MVP back-to-back-to-back. It should be, is he the MVP this year?
Yes.
Who cares about the past? It's about what he's done this year.
I wish it's been like
The
that
Nuggets
forever.
are the first seed in the West, 32-13. Jokic is first in PER, first in points per shot, first in value added, first in estimated wins, and he's 12th in true shooting percentage, and he's number 1 amongst volume scores. So he's 12th, but behind guys like Nick Claxton and Jared Allen because they're getting lobs and easily efficient shots. Jokic is 12th. He's number 1 amongst everybody. And Drew just handed me the points per shot metric. Nikola Jokic
As
is
a
number 1 in
volume
that, right?
shooter
Yeah, he's number 1 in that as well.
He was a freak.
over Steph Curry.
And did
Which
you
one?
know that Nikola Jokic has now tied Michael Jordan for the best box plus minus in NBA history? Nikola Jokic is now tied with Jordan in that. And the Nuggets is a team, first in offensive rating, 4th in net rating. Nikola Jokic is my MVP. I mean, there's no doubt about it. And I think the Nuggets are going to make it to the finals. They're going to make it out the West this year.
I'm sorry.
No, I meant, listen.
Well, Tatum's just jumped up to 2, so it's something you like to see. I think the Joker is the MVP at the right now. You know, I've been calling him the best player in the league for like a
You
year
have.
or 2. So shout out to Joker. But I think people just don't want to see it. You know, even you saw the jersey sales. He's not top 10. You know,
Yeah.
he
I don't think he's top 15.
he might
He's
not be
not.
top 15. So I just
Denver.
and I think a lot of people hate on him. I do think a lot of people don't like his game.
There we go. I'm glad everyone's hearing it. I'm glad you're hearing
yeah, I
it.
hear it too.
Yeah, I hear. I think that shit fucked me up
I
a
don't hear
little bit.
anything.
Open your ears. You farted?
No, I just try to open my ears.
I think
Kinda stuff.
people don't like his game. I think people are very. And it's tough to say feel unfelt about seeing an unathletic 7-footer
Can I just respond
Be
to the
this-
statement real
Is he
quick?
not the
Do you
Tim
think?
Duncan of this era?
like boring.
Nikola Jokic, yes.
All right.
I don't
this,
think Joker
for-
is.
this is
I think for most fans. I
Why-
mean, he's not top 15 in jersey sales.
why I want to respond to this is because I feel like
Depends. Was Tim Duncan not top 15 jersey?
I don't know.
all I want to say to add to this conversation, I feel like all I see on Twitter is Jokic support.
I
you,
don't.
You follow Swiper Cam.
Swiper
no,
Cam,
so-
yeah,
shout out to
Swiper
Swiper
Cam.
Cam.
Yeah,
I see
ODS
Swiper came
all the time.
defending the
No.
Joker a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like
But I see a lot of people he replies to who hates
That-
on Joker.
really?
Yeah.
Me too.
Oh,
yeah, me too.
yeah.
I see it. You don't be on Twitter a lot, to be fair.
I mean, I feel like I'm on Twitter every single
Nah,
day.
I don't think you're on. You're not on Twitter as much as me. I'll be on Twitter like all
I
day.
mean, it's a competition, I guess, but
Oh.
you're the one that said that. You're not on it like me.
No, that's not. You know what? I got a trick for you, buddy.
But I'll be honest. I mean, I don't understand Now, this is like, I feel like this is the first it's coming to my attention that people don't want him to be back to back to back. I feel like if you're deserving of the award, you're deserving of the award. I mean, I have to be consistent. Yeah. Absolutely, LeBron should be, God knows however many time MVP. That's why I can respect MLB. MLB said, you know what? Barry Bonds is the best player in baseball. He's shown it year in, year out. That's why he has the most MVPs in the history of the game with 7. He was the best player. They gave him the award. That's just how it should be. Jokic has been the best player in the NBA this season. You look at every advanced metric, it shows you that Nikola Jokic is the best. So I'm really shocked to hear you guys say this. I mean, I feel like all I've seen, yes, Swiper Cam is the president of the Nikola Jokic fan club, and he has a lot of valid reasons to be that. But I feel like all I've seen is support of Jokic because it's rightfully so deserved. He has been a near perfect basketball player this season. The elevation that he supplies to the Denver Nuggets offense is unbelievable, truthfully. His ability to facilitate the basketball and still continuously be one of the most efficient scorers in the game is unbelievable and a true testament to how great he is. He's deserving of being a back-to-back MVP, back-to-back-to-back MVP.
I don't think it's just Joker, though, but people were doing that with LeBron, too. Whenever you have back-to-back MVPs, people are always itching for it to be somebody new, somebody fresh who hasn't won it before. But if it's not Joker, I don't know who is. Listen, I'm a Celtics fan. Tatum's my favorite player. It's Joker. It's really like, as much as I want to support Tatum and say he should win MVP, it's not. It's Jokic right now. I mean, the fact that he's doing this, and he's doing this without another all-star as well. I mean, I know Aaron Gordon's kind of on the borderline all-star, but even still.
What are you laughing at?
No, I'm just laughing at Tatum does not belong in this conversation.
No, but I think right now Tatum we're number 2.
What do you mean
KD's hurt. Giannis is having his...
What do you mean he doesn't deserve
the Nets being
conversation?
dog shit doesn't affect KD's MVP case. KD's easily over Tatum.
Okay, moving on. KD's hurt. He's going to miss a month of the season.
Embiid is playing better than Tatum.
Embiid, if you're going to give it to a big, you're not going to give it to Embiid. You're going to give it to the Joker. And Giannis, even though he's putting up, I want to say most points per game of his career, it's his least efficient season the last 7 or 8 seasons. I think it's least efficient since 2015. So you look at the list that a month ago when we were having this MVP ladder, I didn't mention Luka. Luka, of course, is in that race too, but being the 4 seed or 5, wherever they are right now, compared to number 1, I think there's a gap there. So a month ago when we had all these 4, maybe 5 guys, it was really tight. I feel like right now there's a pretty decent gap. It was tight. There is a pretty decent gap right now between 1 and the rest of the field. I would have Tatum number 2 right now, but the fact that he's doing this with, I mean, has Aaron Gordon been their second best player? Like, we look at Aaron Gordon when he went to the Magic. I don't want to say people called him a bust, but he was underwhelming. He was underwhelming to say the absolute least.
Okay.
He goes to Denver, and now look what he becomes, a borderline all-star. So I think what he's doing this year is fantastic. All of his numbers, I mean, he's basically averaging a triple-double as a big man. It's ridiculous.
The Nuggets really
He
have
has
been...
averaging 9.9 assists per game.
Yeah.
They've definitely been super well-rounded. Of course, Michael Porter Jr., when he's healthy, he is a great scorer. It's taken Murray a little while to get going, but Murray's finally starting to click. And then, of course, you mentioned Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon, for the majority of this season, has been their second most reliable player.
And when I make the boom lines, when I would do, it's like 51 points, rebounds, assists, 13.5 rebounds, 10.5 assists. I'm like, bro, I don't know how this is even fucking real life.
I have a question. You know, I'm all about if you're missing your stars, you got to get one. Shout out to Joker. He got one last year. Tatum, your boy. He got one. Unfortunately,
Gotta
your
get
boy.
the Suns.
Nope, the Suns swept
Oh,
them.
no, I'm talking about last year. Unfortunately, your boy
yeah.
couldn't get one. It hurts me, but even
Who's
DeMar
my
got
boy?
one. Kevin Durant. Swept.
He got one of these. He got a chip. My bad.
He just gave you a finger? That's fucked up. Oh, come on.
So my question is, if Joker gets his 3rd MVP, right, and he doesn't go to the finals, he loses. Even before the WCF, how does this 3 MVP run kind of look in terms of placing him in history?
History definitely has an impact. Because if he goes, wins the finals, gets the finals MVP, we're talking about him as a top 2015 player of all time.
And what if he doesn't? Like, how does that
I think
look?
it all depends on how he loses because, for example, we saw what he did back in 2021 versus Portland in the first round where he was undermanned and he won that series.
Yeah, I'm talking about they're healthy.
Yeah, in the second round, even if Jamal Murray is healthy for that series, I think that how they expose Jokic and drop coverage is something to be concerned about defensively.
They win a game.
Yeah, you're right, but that series would have
series
still
still
been
Hey, listen,
most of
you told me
Jokic,
Jamal
being
Murray,
horrible
one of
defensively.
the
think
great
Phoenix still
playoff
wins that
performers you've
series.
ever seen. Who knows?
Yeah,
I think
but
Phoenix
it's
still wins that series.
I'm just saying.
The Suns were able to be so potent offensively because they exploited Jokic defensively. So if Jokic is exploited like that again in these upcoming playoffs where he's playing drop coverage and you have a mid-range assassin just shooting shots with space and he loses in that fashion, yeah, I think there starts to be a different conversation. But if he does everything he can and he loses and he goes out like a champ, you know, I don't think it's going to hurt him that much.
There's expectations on this Nuggets team. So
sure.
I'm with you, Riv. I mean, this is the first time we really can sit and add legacy to the playoffs.
Yeah,
and
sorry to
Nikola
cut you up a
Jokic.
little. Only because when you win 3 MVPs, now you're getting compared to Larry Bird.
Facts.
And Larry Bird in that run, chip, I think he went all 3 times, but he definitely won a chip in that run. So when you get compared to the great Larry Bird, who's a top 8 player in basketball history, there's a different level of expectations now. So it's gonna be, and people already don't want to give it to Joker. You know what I'm saying? They already don't really want to give him that 3rd MVP. Like you see people complaining about it. But if he gets that 3rd MVP, he doesn't make the WCF or win the chip. I think that's tough.
The WCF is minimum.
Yeah.
If Jokic is a 3-time MVP and he goes back to back to back and he doesn't win a championship, not just this year,
Ever.
but in his career,
gonna
those
look
MVPs will look like Steve Nash MVPs.
Why do you?
I disagree with that.
I disagree wholeheartedly. Steve Nash wasn't the favorite. Like, why do you do that?
What do you mean the favorite of what?
To come out the West those years.
They had some shots.
Yeah, but it wasn't. Denver's the clear favorite right now.
Yeah, but I'm saying that you will look at
Are they the
Jokic.
clear favorite?
Maybe not clear, but they're the
You would
favorite.
look at Jokic and say he
Grizzlies?
has MVPs, but he's not the best player in the world.
Grizzlies-
That's how you saw Steve
it's
Nash.
the West. It's always been kind of wide open.
I
think
know
right now
Jokic
Denver,
is
though,
better
is-
than Steve Nash. I'm not trying to say Steve Nash is on his
I
level.
don't like how you love to throw shades at Steve Nash.
I'm just saying that if Jokic loses and he's a 3 straight MVPs,
Do you think
they will look at those MVPs like Steve Nash.
What about James Harden?
I was going to say Harden's a more.
He wasn't a 3-time straight MVP.
Well,
he won
Nash
one
was
MVP.
only 2, so
You told me he got robbed of one, so he
He
should
did
be
get
two.
robbed of one. And what is Harden's career going to go down as? It's going to go down with the Charles Barkleys of the world. He's going to go down as the best player to ever play to not have a ring, behind Karl Malone. And I probably would put him above
Harden?
Karl Malone.
I feel people I think that Charles Barkley is the best without a ring. What do you think?
Karl Malone is better than him.
Yeah.
Karl Malone's comfortably better than Charles
Comfortably.
Barkley. Yeah.
And James Harden is better than Charles
Character
Barkley.
of you guys.
It's fucking clear.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but
Guys.
yeah, we're
Yo,
not.
does Harden not clear Barkley?
He'll probably clear both. He definitely clears Barkley though.
Y'all disrespecting Charles.
So you guys mentioned something
That was
interesting.
cool.
So top
MVP.
15,
Yes.
you
Also
mentioned
Jordan.
earlier. You mentioned earlier that Nikola Jokic is not top 15 in jersey sales. These are the players above him. It's Steph, LeBron, Giannis, Luka, KD, Ja, Tatum, Booker, Embiid, Dame, Trey, LaMelo, AD, Zion, Kyrie.
Another thing that I feel like plays a factor
That's
into this.
actually not bad names.
Yeah, it's not. None of them.
A factor that I feel plays into this is that all these guys that you listed are personalities, right? I feel like Jokic really doesn't make himself known or
It's like
He doesn't have any social media.
Kawhi-esque almost.
exactly. But Luka is very prominent on social media, very vocal when it comes to being on the court, and
And Kawhi's not top 15 either.
I mean, it's really not a
also hurt.
testament to how good you are as a basketball player, but who you are as a personality.
Who you are as a man. That's what
It's
you're
the
saying.
truth.
No?
So-
I mean, Mike Trout, the fact that people don't know, I know, I like bringing baseball reference into this. The fact that people don't really know who Mike Trout is, it's
I did
a
not know him
personality.
until I met
It's a
Trout.
personality thing. He
I think
really,
that's more of a baseball issue.
a little
Definitely.
both.
Yeah.
But you know who Shohei Ohtani
I didn't know.
is.
I didn't know him until I met y'all.
But
I didn't know
Even
A-Rod
so,
until
I don't know.
I didn't
like,
know A-Rod
outside
until
of,
he came to New York.
outside of
That's
like
okay, till he came to New York.
Yeah,
Aaron
I live over
Judge,
here.
like outside of Judge, I feel like you could go on the street and say
I didn't know Mookie
Trout
Betts
or
until I
Ohtani.
bought MLB. I'll be honest with you.
We'll finish off the show with this right here because
Now with MLB
you,
talk. Okay.
you brought an interesting point, Drew, about LeBron and the MVPs and stuff. So in the last 8 years, has LeBron James deserved any of these MVPs?
In the last 8,
Yes.
how about we go back to the first year that he lost against Derrick Rose?
Because he won 2 MVPs after that, back to back.
Deservedly so. But you
Yes.
could say he should have won 5 MVPs in a row.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, that's why I want you to go on that run.
But
No, Derrick Rose won deservedly.
but Derrick
yeah.
Rose also
As long as you said
60-win
that.
team, injured team.
As long as you say that,
No,
I
of
respect it.
course.
Yeah,
So
there's a real
Can we just
case
go
for.
because that's where it starts.
There's a case
I
for
want to
Dwight that
start
year
it for
too.
2014.
There's a case for Dwight that year too.
Yeah.
Okay, start at 2014. Perfect.
Kevin Durant, that year he won MVP.
Damn.
That's a good starter. And
I don't think
Nah.
he should have won MVP.
No,
that
I'm
year.
fine with Kevin Durant.
Yeah. 2015 Steph Curry.
That's the first one. I can understand that one.
I'm going LeBron James.
You should skip this next year.
No, 2016.
Yeah.
Watch.
2016
Steph
unanimous
Curry.
Steph
Curry.
Yeah.
2017 Russell Westbrook.
LeBron. Damn it.
triple-double,
The
that's a
triple-double.
triple-double.
That's the GOAT shit.
It's either Westbrook or James Harden.
It's a triple-double, but everyone looks back at it saying, like, shouldn't have won it.
Well, it was historical.
No,
It
We haven't
was.
seen it in a long
deserved
time. Yeah.
Russell
I
Westbrook
thought the
MVP.
top 3 MVPs that year were Russ, Harden, Kawhi. Kawhi had a very
Kawhi,
good
Did have
that was
a
the
very
Raptors
sneaky
year?
year.
No, that was
that was
Spurs.
the
They won
Spurs
60
year.
games.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kawhi was on a heater.
Go ahead.
2018 James Harden.
LeBron James.
James Harden should have won that.
I mean, what we
He did not like
We're
that
never
answer.
going to
He
get
averaged
over this
30
argument.
and they won 65 games.
We're not going to
Yeah.
do this.
Cavaliers
Keep
were
it pushing.
significantly
We
worse.
got it.
Yep,
LeBron.
Yep.
Totals LeBron had, yeah, but averages Harden was better.
Yep, for sure.
We got you.
2019 Giannis.
That was the first year LeBron was in LA.
bubble.
Now. Yep.
There's the bubble.
No. That was the first year LeBron was in LA that he got hurt.
yeah.
Right.
2021.
100%
2020.
100%
That's the
LeBron
bubble.
should have been MVP.
2020 Giannis.
I think LeBron should have been MVP that
That was the
year.
year the Lakers won the championship.
Yep.
Correct. And that was the right as the basketball season shut down.
Oh, my God.
LeBron.
What did I just
What
say?
happened?
2-point game.
Oh my God.
Right
Right
12,
as
12. You can't see.
yeah,
Oh,
it's 12.
my bad. That's a 102.
That's going to turn into 2.
That's
It's
a
okay.
102.
Right
Don't
as
worry.
the season got shut down, he goes on a back-to-back against Milwaukee and the Clippers, beats
I
both
remember,
of them,
yeah.
and both of them, the game-winning possession that the Clippers and Milwaukee had a chance. Giannis gets the ball, LeBron stops him. Kawhi gets the ball, he stops him, then switches on to Paul George. It was some play like that I'm thinking of off the top of my head. LeBron went 0-30. He was making his MVP case in those 2 games alone, and they gave it to Giannis.
James Harden never goes 0-30?
I do.
That was crazy.
You never saw that game against the Warriors last year.
Never.
Bro, I didn't see that.
Never.
Yeah,
What
against
star?
Warriors
What
he
game?
did.
What game?
We're talking about game 3. He sealed them.
Game
2019.
blocked
He's
by
talking
Manu
about a game
Ginobili.
3.
Manu Ginobili was 37 years old.
Outta here.
He got blocked by. He didn't have hair at the time.
To be fair,
When do you have hair?
and
Fucking
the
24.
bubble year, Giannis was
When he had the
the
long hair?
Yeah.
bro. That year, the bubble year, Giannis was the best player in the league. Well, in the
You're
regular
ranking in the
season.
league. You're ranking in the league, basically, bro.
Riv.
Yes. He's trying
2020,
to figure out
2020,
percentile.
Giannis was the best regular season player in the league.
What year? That's bubble.
Bubble.
Yeah.
Yes.
In the playoffs, he choked, and that's why people want to give it to LeBron.
No, I
but
thought Giannis was
I
the
thought
best
Giannis
player
was the best
in
regular season
2020.
player in the league.
LeBron was right behind him.
Wait,
though.
2020?
I think it was him or LeBron, in my opinion. AD was up there too. AD
But
was
the
amazing.
season, including the playoffs, is LeBron for sure.
No, I'm not really
Or
talking
AD.
playoffs. Definitely. But I'm not talking playoffs. I think in the regular season, LeBron was really on that
It was
path.
him or Giannis.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I agree with him or Giannis.
And the last 2, it's Jokic, right?
But the thing is, not the year after the
Like
bubble.
Steph should have had 7 MVPs.
The year after the bubble, LeBron was making his MVP case. He was the favorite at a point in time.
Unfortunately, the
and he
season
fucking got hurt. No, he got hurt that year. The year that
The
he
year after the bubble.
Yes, the year that he came back 2 games
yeah,
before the
right,
postseason
right,
started.
right.
Like, it was his MVP for sure, and then he got fucking hurt.
I feel like Steph should have 5, 6 MVPs.
So you thought? Did you think that LeBron deserved it in 2011 over Derrick Rose?
No, because of the extra shit.
Correct.
Injuries, number 1 seed expectations wasn't really there.
No, and really, the reason why they didn't want to give him the award was similar to why they couldn't give KD the award when he joined Golden State, even though he was really fucking good, of course. But
You joined a super team,
exactly,
or
that
you
was
created
it.
one.
Correct.
You created
But think about how great LeBron was those 2 years after that. He still got the MVP.
That's
Just-
because D-Wade kind of fell off a little bit.
No, that 2012 he was great.
Nah, D-Wade was much
That's
better
what
in
after
2011.
2011.
No,
after 2011,
he was great in
D-Wade
both.
gave the
No,
keys to LeBron.
but 2011 was like 25, 6 and 5. D-Wade.
But I'm telling you, D-Wade was still great in
Yeah,
2012.
he was good.
No,
But
he was great in
he-
2012.
if he was great, they wouldn't have gave LeBron the MVP.
No, he was
They
great.
don't give. They don't get. It's very rare in history when they give a MVP to a player who was on a super
I'm
team.
telling you, he was great.
I don't. Think he was.
Look in the playoffs, he was
Oh no,
fucking
I'm
phenomenal.
We're talking about the MVP.
He averaged 22 that year.
Yeah, we're talking
Like,
about
that's
the regular
that's
season.
great.
That's good.
Oh, really? And
That's
that
D Wade.
okay? He's not. It's next to LeBron James.
Yeah, well, D Wade's 26 point per game scorer. He's a
That year in the playoffs, D Wade
It's fucking nuts.
averaged 23 a game.
One more point.
In the finals, he was OD
That was 20
Against OKC.
against OKC.
He was. I think
But
against the
after the
Pacers,
first year where they
it was
lost,
nutty.
D Wade did hand the keys over to
Oh,
LeBron.
facts,
Yeah.
facts.
he had to
Yeah.
because if
LeBron was too passive. way
LeBron
too
fucked up
fucking
D Wade's
hesitant.
legacy, he would have 2 Finals MVPs in 2011. If LeBron knows how to play ball, I'll be honest with you, because D Wade was on the heater. He was cooking Dallas.
Oh, loves
Look,
heater.
no,
Yeah, it's a
LeBron.
firework.
It
But
is.
you know they exploited LeBron's limitation offensively as a
And they
scorer.
put Deshaun Stevenson on.
That's something
He's
that they did to
6'4".
Michael Jordan.
Think
They
about
didn't
that.
limit him.
Think about what?
He limited himself.
Word.
Open your mind.
Okay.
Got a point.
Nah, he doesn't. Not that year. No, it was a him thing, yeah, but it was also what they were doing. He couldn't figure it out. I promise you that's what it was.
He folded himself. It was him.
Okay.
When you're at that level, the only person who can beat you is you. Facts.
You gotta respect Dallas' game plan.
I said what I said, and it's facts.
I don't think it's
Mark
facts.
Cuban having a blast with you.
I don't care.
Sean Stevenson.
By that.
No, Mark Cuban absolutely drilled Skip for saying essentially exactly what I just said.
Yeah.
No, because what you're saying is
Because
wrong.
you're not going to give us any credit. You meant to
Oh,
game
no.
plan?
Yeah, what you're saying is wrong. It's unfair.
You guys you guys as
Yeah,
it's your
I'm
point.
not a
No,
Dallas
for sure. They were great, no doubt, but it was more so on LeBron than it was them.
I don't know because then
Like I'm taking it's like 60-40 LeBron.
So what happened in 2007? You think that was LeBron thing or San Antonio
no,
game
because
plan?
I don't think
amazingly?
LeBron was bad like that.
Yeah. It's also super young LeBron.
I mean, also there was way different expectations.
I don't think he was bad.
He wasn't LeBron normal, but he wasn't.
They could have won a couple games. You know, those
The games were mad close.
Yeah,
They were low scoring. Also,
they forced LeBron to shoot.
I mean, the Cavs had number one defense.
I just
that
think
year.
you should.
They
I just think you need to give a little bit more respect to the other defense. Like I know LeBron.
I mean,
he's
I
one
did
of the,
give the
LeBron's
the
the top
credit
two
to-
player ever, and realistically, the only way to
what are
stop
we
an
doing
offensive
here?
player.
What am I like? What do you think I'm saying?
You're not giving Dallas credit.
think-
I just
think
said I
you're-
am giving them credit, but I'm more so blaming LeBron.
I think you're
close to
saying
the show.
LeBron was in that series like, I can't drive to the basket because I have this mental block.
I have
instead
JJ
of-
Barry with me. I can't
instead
get to the
of,
rim.
like other things
Guys,
Dallas
down
did
low.
game
Yeah,
plan
they-
wise.
that really
Sean
was,
Stevenson is worrying
what
me
it really was LeBron was hesitant to shoot.
because he couldn't.
He couldn't exactly. That's a mental thing.
And that's
because
Dallas' game plan to force it. Because any other team could have did that prior.
Yeah, okay, but if LeBron was normal LeBron, he's making his mid-range
But
jumpers.
that's my thing. Indiana couldn't do it. The Bulls, we were an elite defense. We had players to do that. We didn't do it, but Dallas figured out a game plan and they did it. You got to give them credit for that.
I
You can't
do
just
give
say it's a
them credit,
LeBron. You
but it
can't
is
just
more
say
on
it's a
LeBron.
I don't know.
I'm like what I'm saying is
if
fine.
it's like that's like if somebody goes to a 4 playoff series run and only one team stops them, I don't know if that's a him thing. I think that's the team
Got
really
to the
honing in
NBA
on.
Finals. He wasn't he was supposed to be there. There was no way around. He was supposed to be the favorite, and he lost. He choked. That was on him.
He was the favorite. Yeah.
That's why he came with a different mentality next year, and he was dominant.
He was definitely dominant. He changed his game.
He hasn't been anything but dominant since.
OKC also did not have a game plan like Dallas did.
And Spurs, I mean, Spurs had a great game plan. He still dominated.
Not the second time.
The first time.
First time it was a great
In the
series.
second season, the second series against Spurs, he was really fucking good too.
But a lot of it was garbage time. He was getting blown out. Not because of him. But he was
Of
getting
course,
blown
We'll
out. He was
continue
getting
this
blown out a lot.
conversation next show if
We will
That's
not
fine.
remember this.
No, we won't.
conversation
We won't.
next show.
So-
Yeah.
Yo, Riv, this is probably the most you and I have gone at each other in a single show.
You guys have been tooth and nail fighting.
Oh yeah,
clawing.
definitely in each other.
Yeah, OD.
I like this.
It's hot.
It's sexy. Now you wanted to get in there? You like men?
That's going to do it for episode 248 of the Pick a Side Podcast. You guys can follow us on Twitter at Pick a Side Pod, on Instagram and TikTok at Pick a Side Podcast. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.